means I don't respect your opinion, Ben.
Yeah, I think we all know that's
Damn.
never been the case.
Oh, he's quiet. Now I'm afraid I hurt his feelings. I'm sorry, buddy.
Ben, are you here?
I'm here.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna give us a
I was
countdown.
not going to play into it. I don't give
Oh.
a fuck about what it says.
I don't give a fuck about what this guy says.
All right, guys. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to the ANG Cast, the podcast where we talk about video games and everything else in between. I am Josh, your host, as always. Man, what a year 2025 was, and what a year 2026 is already. If you know, you know. But we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about video games tonight, because 2025 was yet another fantastic year for video games. I am joined by my 3 best friends, as always. Aaron, how's it going?
I don't want to go first.
Ben, how's it going?
I'm doing all right, buddy. Best I can do.
Best you can do in times like this. Totally understand. Alex, how are you doing?
I'm doing. I think you said it best, Ben. As good as you could humanly possibly be at this moment.
Yep. Well, hopefully this podcast can be a distraction for you
Wait,
listening.
what about me?
You said you didn't want to go.
No, I said I didn't want to go first.
Oh, okay. Yeah, go ahead then. How's it going?
My tummy hurts.
Yeah, me too.
Oh.
Yeah.
My tummy and then my spiritual tummy as well. So anyway, like I said, I hope this podcast can be as much of a distraction for you guys listening as it can be for us recording it. I love getting together with my friends, talking about all of our favorite games from the year 2025. And so Alex and I are going to go first. If you want to check out his channel, Swirly Plays, Swirly Streams, and as always, Swirly Fucks. You want to check him out on Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch. Is that about right?
Yep, that's
Okay.
about it.
And we streamed the Swirly Awards live on his channel just a few weeks ago, something like that, I think. At this
Something
point.
like that, yeah. It was early January, I think.
So I know you said you were planning on getting it up on your YouTube, but if you're listening and you want to watch sooner, the Twitch archive should still be up on Swirly Streams on Twitch if you'd like to check that out, where we went in depth and talked a lot about these games. So like I said, I'm not going to talk a ton about my 20 through 11. And if you want to see my lists for games, movies, shows, and albums, you can go visit our Twitter and Instagram pages at Renown Gaming. So Alex, why don't you go first, and let's do a quick lightning round of your 20 through 11 real quick.
Okay. A lot of these will be very fast because I think the first 4 or 5 I literally played one time. So my number 20, my least favorite game of 2025 was the first Berserker Kazan. I was really into the trailer they made for it, and then I heard Ben Starr was voicing the main character, and I was like, oh shit, I got to play this. But then it's extremely a Soulsborne game, and luckily I only played the demo, so I didn't actually have to buy it, but I played like 45 minutes, and I was like, this is cool, not my game. 19, the biggest bummer, honestly, was Deliver at All Cost. I remember watching Dan from Giant Bomb play it, and it looked fun, but just actually playing it, it just kind of wasn't it. Didn't really like that game very much. 18, I have Sword of the Sea, I think it's called. Very cool. I kind of just played it for like an hour or two, kind of felt like I got the gist of it, and kind of just never felt like going back. 17, I have Repo, one of the many, I think Firescape calls them friend slop games this year. I really like that one. It had a crazy difficulty curve. The one night we really got into it, where you do like 1 or 2 levels and they'd be fine, and the third was just impossible. But it was a lot of fun playing that game. 16, I have Rematch. I played probably like 2 hours of that with my buddy Austin. Very cool, very Rocket League adjacent. Like Josh and Ben, I think we'd have a lot of fun playing trios of that. Definitely has like a high skill curve the way Rocket League does. Maybe not as extreme, but I did have a good time playing that. 15 was the other friend slop game I played with Brandon, my brother, on my actually stream this year, and that is Peak, which I do think is the best of those. I didn't play RV there yet, but that one also looks very fun. But Peak rules, you're just climbing mountains with your friends. Great time over there. Would like to play more of that. 14, I have Chronos New Dawn. This was the last game I was streaming before Tiff and I had our baby in December, and I want to get back to it. I probably won't stream the rest of it, but it's just the creepy like 80s synthy sci-fi horror game from Blue Point. It's really, really fun. I've only a couple hours into it, but I want to go back to it. 13 is a game called Dead Take. That's like a FMV game, kind of. That's like a first-person puzzle, suspenseful. I guess you'd call it a horror game. It's not super scary, but It has Ben Starr and Neil Newbon and like Matthew Mercer and Alana Pierce, Laura Bailey, like a bunch of really cool voice actors that are like actually in the game doing performances. And it's a game about like actors working for, essentially it's like, what if Quentin Tarantino was like actually like a psychotic murderer, which who knows, TBD, he could be. And just like actors going crazy for the sake of getting a role from him. Very interesting game, pretty cool, like 5 or 6 hours that I had fun with. 12 is Mario Kart World. A fine Mario Kart that I think is cursed by being the immediate follow-up to Mario Kart 8, which is about as perfect of a Mario Kart as you could get, in my opinion. And also I didn't pay this because I got the bundle. I essentially paid $50 for it, but it would be way lower on my list if I actually paid the $80 that they're somehow charging for that game. And then my number 11 that just got bumped out of my top 10 was Doom: The Dark Ages. Another game I want to go back to. Really cool, like heavy metal medieval Doom game. The shield is awesome. The parrying feels great. I think if I would have finished it, it probably could have beat out my number 10, I think. But I just didn't get quite through it. So that is my 20 through 11.
Hell yeah, dude. Really, that just echoes my sentiment that I've been saying for months now, that 2025 was such a good year for indie games, especially. There were so many good ones, and that'll be what I talk about with my 20 through 11, especially, is games that I call like perfect, like Sunday afternoon games you can beat, play on the Steam Deck and beat
For sure.
in like a couple hours. So starting with that, my number 20 is Ultimate Sheep Raccoon, a game that I've played with you guys exclusively. And
I want to play that.
Yeah, and with Aaron and Ben and Randy, we played it. No, Aaron and Randy and me played it one time, then Ben and I played it another. That's why it's so low on my list. I feel like if we had a bunch more sessions, it could have crept its way up there. It also came out towards the end of the year too. But just an iteration on Ultimate
I was
Chicken
gonna
Horse.
say it was low on your list because you had to play with Ben.
Yeah, that's also true.
Yeah, zing.
Yeah, fuck
Got
that
him.
guy. So yeah, it's basically just Ultimate Chicken Horse, but you're on bikes instead. And I feel like Ultimate Chicken Horse is ultimately the better game from what I've seen so far, but it felt it was worth mentioning. Number 19 is Spilled. It is a game I played on my Steam Deck. I think it was like less than $5. You play as this little boat and you're going around and cleaning garbage out of the ocean, saving animals, learning about like that kind of cool conservationist stuff. So again, cool little Sunday afternoon game. You can beat it in a couple hours. I got 100% of the achievements after playing it for like 2 hours. So definitely one of those. And same thing with my number 18, which is Leaf It Alone, which is basically just what if Power Wash Simulator was Leaf Blower Simulator, but you start from the ground up. You're like literally picking leaves up one by one and putting them into a trash can to save money to buy a rake, go from the rake to the leaf blower, vice versa. Another perfect Sunday afternoon game I beat within a couple hours. And then speaking of Mario Kart World, it's hilarious. Alex and I talked about this on the Swirly Awards, that I have 2 racing games this year that I liked better than Mario Kart, and Mario Kart did not end up even in my top 20. So number 17 is Fast Fusion, the other Nintendo Switch racer that came out this year. I think it was like a launch title with the Switch too. Really cool Wipeout style racer that puts different colors on the track. So like you have, I can't remember, it's like the bumpers or the triggers. You have to switch your color from like blue to red. And if you do that, then you boost going through those. But if you like a Wipeout, like a really fast frenetic type racer, then Fast Fusion will get it done for you. And then number 16, Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, which I don't know if this is considered a hot take. I think it's better than Mario Kart World. I think it's just, it does what it sets out to do better. I think it's more interesting. I think the tracks are better, and had a lot more fun with that this year. Alex, number 15 is Lego Party, a game that we played together and really enjoyed. Another hot take, I'm not sure if people would agree with. I think it's better than Mario Party in a lot of ways, which is, it's good that they finally have some competition, because there's not really that many other good games of that ilk, like the board game, party game type thing. I know the Demon Slayer, I can't remember. Anime has like a board game, party game, one of those, but I don't think it was very well received. So yeah, Lego Party is really fun. Number 14 is Despalote, really charming indie game about, I knew I was going to forget the country as soon as I brought this up. Ecuador, yeah. So it was Ecuador, the year, it was the year that Ecuador went to the World Cup, and you experience it from the perspective of a child. So you are experiencing like what all the adults are saying about Ecuadorian like football and culture, and it's really touching to see how football is received in other countries and how it's like ingrained in their fucking DNA, and it's such a huge part of who they are. And having it from a kid's perspective was also a really cool take on it. Number 13, Tiny Bookshop. I'd recommend this game to all 3 of you at some point. Aaron especially, I think you'd really like this game, and I think we've talked about it before. Played that on the Switch 2. The Switch 2 was kind of like my indie machine until I got back into my Steam Deck last year. But it's basically you just have this little bookseller cart and people come into your shop and you recommend books to them based on the information they give you. And you can upgrade your cart. You buy more books. Your environments influence you and stuff like that. So really cute, charming little indie game. Then number 12, Alex mentioned already, Sword of the Sea. Sword of the Sea. I don't know why I pronounced it like that. Sword. Whiskey. Sword of the Sea.
Sword.
Sword.
Oh, God. Sword of the Sea.
Sora.
Sword. All right. We should just probably end it here. No, so Sword of the Sea. I don't know. Why did we give Aaron the power to do noises during these podcasts? Holy shit. So Sword of the Sea is from the Journey people, and Journey was one of my favorite games back in the day because it was just so unique. And this borrows a lot from that, but it's just like, what if instead of like just gliding around on the sand, you were on like this cool fucking like skateboard type thing and going around cruising like ocean waves and stuff. It's a very beautiful game. Austin Wintory did the soundtrack for that, just like he did for Journey. So if you like Journey, check out Sword of the Sea. It's also on PlayStation Plus. And then my number 11 is Mega Bonk. For those of you who know me, I love a good Vampire Survivors like. I don't know what to call that genre other than that because that's just what I've always called it. But it just runs around and auto shoots. It's just 3D Vampire Survivors, basically. It would have been higher on my list, but just like my number 10 that I'll get to and talk about, I kind of hit a difficulty spike in it that made me put it down for a little bit. So that is my 20 through 11. And now, our top 10 games of 2025. Just like last year, we're going to go around the horn. Perfect timing. Jesus Christ, the timing is so perfect. All right, Ben, I'm going to let you go first this year, buddy.
All right. My number 10 for this year is Abiotic Factor.
Hell yeah, dude.
They
It's
have
higher
that
on my
higher
list.
up?
Yep.
Okay, then we'll talk about it then.
Hell yeah.
Sweet.
Aaron, go ahead.
All right, so this ended up making my list today, barely beating out Switch 2 Welcome Tour. My number 10 is Ball X Bit.
Hell yeah, that's definitely higher on my list.
We'll be talking about that one later. Yeah.
We will be talking about that one for sure later. And then Alex,
No,
go
listen,
ahead.
I played an hour of it, so I'm sure if I would have played more, it would have ended up higher.
It'll get you.
I'm just happy it made it to your top 10.
Hell yeah. I think we might be 4 for 4 for games we'll talk about later. My number 10 is Borderlands 4.
Yep, higher on mine.
Yep.
All right, so my number 10, I know none of you guys played it, but it's Deep Rock Galactic Survivor, which is the Vampire Survivors like that I started playing in December. And it did make that strong of an impression on me. I actually played a little bit again earlier, Ben, after we got done with Arc Raiders with the boys earlier.
Nice.
As I mentioned with Mega Bonk, the problem with this game is that the difficulty spikes really early on. Like I'm not even 10 hours into it and I'm already like failing a lot of runs. And I don't know if it's a me problem. I don't know if it's a game problem. I need to look into it a little bit more, but really solid one of those. You just walk around and it auto shoots for you. But the cool thing is, like, if you don't know what Deep Rock Galactic is, Ben, we played some of that with, did we play it with Brandon and Chaz? Like the actual Deep Rock Galactic?
Yeah, we played with those boys.
So it's, how would you describe Deep Rock Galactic, like the base game of what this is based on? Like a mining game? It's like a first person.
It's like a mining. Yeah, it's a first-person mining game. Like it's run-based. It's like session-based. It's I don't know the best way to put it, but
it's just like, shoot the shit with your friends, like a Minecraft type thing. It's so this is like an offshoot of that, and it's instead of being a first-person, survival game you play with your friends, is like a top-down third-person Vampire Survivors like. But anyway, if you know me, it's the kind of game I like. It also adds a drill to the equation. You're like having to drill paths through rocks and stuff. I don't know. It scratches that itch for me. I don't know realistically how much more I'll play with it if I do get stuck in this difficulty spike. And I feel if it had also come out earlier than December, and if I could have made more progress, it might have shot up higher on my list. But that is my number 10 for now. So Ben, what is your number 9?
My number 9 is Sectori.
I wish I played more of that. That did not make my list.
That's the main reason it's my number 9. It's because I haven't played a lot of it, but the little bit that I have played, and just the score chasing nature of it, it's fun to just kind of pick up and play. It has some pretty neat. It has like a really interesting take on it where you're not just getting like upgrades, you have to kind of plan them out because you have to select them as they come up. So yeah, it's cool.
As soon as I started playing it, I knew it was a Ben game for sure. I was like, Ben's probably going to like this more than I do, but it's cheap. I want to support the developer. Everybody was talking it up. It is a little bit too difficult for me, at least until I figured out a little bit more.
It's tough.
Yeah, it's a really tough game. Just like I always struggled with Geometry Wars back in the day. It's pretty similar to that. If you guys remember what Geometry
That was the game. I
Wars
was like, what the fuck is that game that it looks like? I
Yep.
couldn't remember what
So
what it was called.
that's pretty much
Geometry
exactly what it
Wars.
is. So the dash that they added in Sector, was that
Robotron.
dash a thing in Geometry Wars? Because I feel like the dash
No.
kind of
No.
that kind of adds a
Yeah,
new
the
layer
dash
to
is
it.
kind of the whole point of Sectori.
Yeah.
You have to really master that in order to really figure it out. So,
But yeah,
Yeah.
Ben Ass game for sure. I'm looking forward to playing more of that. It's a really good Steam Deck game for sure too. If you guys are looking for one of those. But Aaron, what is your number 9?
My number 9 is Mario Kart World.
Nice.
Mainly just because, again, I only played so many games from 2025. I'm
Yeah.
sure if I would have played more, it would have been way farther down.
Well, remember
I
you
think
played
everything you guys said about it is fine.
you played Sonic Racing with me at whenever you came over that one day, and you were like, "Oh yeah, this is better than Mario Kart World."
I guess that's true. I should have put that here instead.
And we were playing a fucking Minecraft level on that too, and that was better than anything I played in Mario Kart World for the most part.
I will say, since this is probably the highest Mario Kart World is on the
Yeah.
list. Knockout
Well, wait,
Tour.
Ben, where's it out? On
Nah.
your
Oh
list?
yeah,
Go ahead, Alex.
Not on my
I
list.
figured. Yeah. Knockout Tour is such a fucking cool mode.
It's the
that
best part
It's
of that
really
game.
good.
They just Nintendo'd it up. You cannot queue into multiplayer with friends. Like if you play that with friends, you have to play against the AI, and it's like, why can we not? Why? Like Nintendo, what are we doing? Like that honestly would have made it so much higher, and I would have played so much more of that game
Yeah,
if you
it's
could play
funny
Knockout
to
Tour not
me-
against AI.
As someone who like kind of played a good amount of racing games growing up, to hear everybody fawn over like the Knockout Tour mode, just because like it's a mode that's been in like quite a few racing games. Like,
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm not surprised by any means. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I honestly have not played much more beyond.
Ben, are you
like, Need for
saying
Speed
that
Back in the Day and Mario
Nintendo
Kart.
got to the party about 10 years late?
Yeah.
yeah, I mean it's pretty common.
That's
It's just very
unprecedented,
funny
bro.
because it's like
Yeah,
everybody's
they've
like,
never
"The
done that
Knockout Tour
before.
is the best thing in the entire world," and I'm just like,
That's so funny.
yeah, man,
Ben-
that's the mode
Ben,
that's good.
pause,
It's a good
wait,
mode.
Pause.
Yeah.
Ben,
It's in
no one's
Burnout
saying
3.
that. No
People
one's
do
saying
like
I'm
that.
that.
always
Yeah.
saying this.
I've
They're
heard
not
people
saying
like
it's the best
just-
thing in the whole world.
I don't know, man.
No, there.
In
I
the
will
whole
say
world, Ben?
You don't
there
know
was-
these people like I
there
do.
was a lot
the
of
Mario Kart
hyperbole
world,
around that game when it came out because I think a lot of people were trying to justify the $80 they spent on it if they didn't get it with the Switch. And so I think but yeah, it was overblown a little bit. I played just enough of it to like get what it was going for. I will say it was my favorite part of that game. It
Hey,
blows
can we
everything else
have
about the
a
game out of the water.
we have a quick moment of silence for anyone who paid $80 for that game?
Yeah,
Holy
sure.
shit.
Okay, yeah, here we go.
Was that everyone though, or is you just like
No,
not
so you
counting the
save
back
no,
end?
yeah, you save money with it if you bundle it with it.
Okay.
Like,
If you got the bundle, it was basically a $50 game instead.
yeah.
This guy thinks he knows video games.
I don't care about the Nintendo Switch, man.
Yeah, that's what I would say too. If I just got embarrassed like you did.
Okay.
We're all really great
Okay.
friends here. Alex, what is your
Yeah,
number
yeah.
9?
My number 9, you just talked about briefly a second ago, Josh, is Lego Party.
Nice.
I think that's you said it might be a hot take. I think it's if you've played both, I think you know Lego Party is just a better video game than Mario Party. Like excuse me, it might not have, Mario and Yoshi and everything in it, but like the mini games are fun, the game modes are better. It's snappier. It doesn't take 5 hours to play a game. There's no like insufferable amounts of dialogue to skip through, like watching the CPU do stuff. Like it's just it's kind of what Mario Party should have been, and it's on every platform, and it's crossplay. You can design your little minifigs the way you want. It's great. Like I will still probably play. Like I love Mario Party, so I'll probably still be interested in whatever the newest ones are. But like I haven't thought about playing. God, what's even the newest one called? Mario Party Jamboree, whatever the fuck. Yeah, I haven't thought about that game for like a single second since Lego Party came out. It's really good. I hope they like really go crazy with it and use like, put a Star Wars board in there. Put it like I have all the God forbid they have a Pokemon IP license now.
Yeah.
If they're able to put any of that into it, oh boy.
I mean, the possibilities are
really
endless.
cool.
Look how many fucking Lego sets there are with crossovers. Like, if they have the rights to those, we could be getting DLC for everything, every property under the sun that they've ever done.
it feels ripe for like some free updates with like a couple extra boards. 'Cause I think that's probably the one thing that's holding it back is I think there's only 4 boards you can play. But honestly, most Mario parties have at most like 6 probably, which is also insane that they don't have more than that. So yeah,
and Nintendo doesn't update them forever either. So I feel like we're probably going to get an update for Lego Party quicker than Nintendo's done one for Mario Party. I will say I think the best thing Nintendo could do, or at least the thing I want them to do the most, is the next Mario Party needs to be like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Just put every fucking board in there, every character, every board, every move.
Yeah.
Make it the definitive way to play Mario Party, and you're going to sell 1 billion copies of it, just like you did with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Yeah. Or like do the Smash Brothers thing. Like that's what I thought Mario Kart was going to do, of like fucking Samus and Roy and everybody's like every Nintendo character ever was going to be in Mario Kart. And they didn't really do that. It's every Mario anything in it, but like do that with Mario Party. Just make it Nintendo Party and really blow it out.
Yep, for sure. All right. So my number 9, Ben, let's talk about Battlefield 6 a little bit. This is a game I was hoping would make it onto my list a little bit higher, but feeling a little bit let down by that game. I feel like I fell off of it really hard, went on to Call of Duty, which also didn't even make my list this year because I think it's fucking terrible. I think Battlefield 6 is a better game overall, but I think you might agree with me here. I was hoping to recapture some of that Battlefield 3 magic that we had from back in our early college days, and it does that to a point. But I think it's a time and place thing. Like, you know, we had a lot more free time to play it in college. I also think Battlefield 3 was just a better game overall than 6 is. I appreciate a lot of what they're trying to do in 6. Apparently right now the community's mad at them for, you know, the community's mad at every game every day for something. But they were doing really good about like listening to the community when the game first came out for the first like month or so. And then after that, they kind of fell off and people are like down on it again. But it's the only game like that you can play right now. It's the closest thing we've had to Battlefield 3 since Battlefield 3.
Yeah.
It's the most I've enjoyed a Battlefield game since Battlefield 3, I think.
Oh, for sure. I'm trying to think. I played Battlefield 4 and I played some of Battlefield 1.
Yeah, I did too.
Which was pretty fun, but still just didn't. I mean, my favorite thing always was from Battlefield 3, and unfortunately, this didn't make my list at all. And I don't know. I was trying to place it. I was trying to see if I would place it, and it just didn't end up on there. But because we played so little of it.
Yeah.
And my thing is because one of the games I'm going to talk about later came out.
Yeah.
But and I just took over my multiplayer stuff. So, and it just didn't grab me the way I needed it to for make me want to keep playing it. Like, I think a lot of the progression, little bits of progression in there were actively bad. I think it kept you from actually enjoying some of the game because they locked some of the more important parts of different classes behind like a massive progression loop. And so it was just kind of unfortunate in that way. So yeah, some of the stuff, like it's the classic grabbing an LMG and laying down suppressive fire and just putting as many bullets downfield as possible that I love doing in Battlefield 3, still there. My helicopter skills have atrophied, though. I used to be a fairly decent helicopter pilot. Can't do that anymore. And so many people like just spam trying to get in the vehicles that it's impossible to even try to learn how to do it right. So
I will say the other night, I think it was like last weekend, I got so fucking sick of Call of Duty Black Ops 7 that I switched over to Battlefield 6 because I was like, there's no way that this game can make me more mad than COD is right now. And it seems like, because remember I just kept saying over and over, I want the COD kids to leave Battlefield when COD comes out. I think that's happened because I played 5 matches of Battlefield that night and people are actually playing the objective and stuff. And every match where I got into a helicopter with somebody, they were like fucking like master pilots, like Stone Mountain 64 is. Like, I don't know if you've ever watched him on his streams fly a helicopter, but it's watching somebody who's really good at flying a helicopter in Battlefield is a sight to behold, because it's, if you've ever tried to drive a Battlefield helicopter yourself, it's insanely challenging. So yeah, it didn't quite hit the mark. Battlefield is Battlefield, you know, like you come to it and they're pretty much giving you what you want from it. I'm just curious to see the longevity of the game. Like, I think they've already said clearly they're not going to make one every year like Call of Duty is. So I'll be curious to see how long that life cycle is compared to something like Call of Duty. But I'm definitely down to play more of it. I know you probably have it uninstalled, and there's another game on our list we're going to talk a lot about that definitely takes up all your multiplayer time. But I am down for some Battlefield anytime you're ready to come back to it. All right, Aaron, what is your number 8?
All right, my number 8 is the Oblivion remaster.
Hey, me too.
Also number 8.
I'll let you. Wait,
no,
really?
no. Go ahead. You go ahead.
Oh, okay. I mean, I won't take up too much time. It's a remaster of an old game that really they just took and they put a coat of paint over the old code. It was fun. I don't know. It was cool to go back to it. Definitely was an older game that looks really new.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of my favorite games of all time. Like, it's easily in my top 10.
Yeah.
I think I still like some parts of it better than I like Skyrim, which I know a lot of people think
Mhm.
might be a hot take. I loved that they shadow dropped that and you could just get it on Game Pass that day and play it. And that was a lot of the hype for me for a while. And when I first started playing it, because it came out, when did it come out last year? Was it early in the
Man,
year?
it would have been March or April, I think.
Yeah, so we were still early in the year, and I was like, this is a top 5 game for me no matter what. Like, they made a better version of one of my favorite games of all time. But then the more I thought about it, I was like, there's 7 other games that deserve to be ahead of this because it is just a remaster. They didn't add any content or anything like that. Although I will say it's been nice to go back and play some of that DLC I missed out on back in the day. Shout out to Shivering Isles.
Yeah, I need to jump into it and play it more. I mean, I played about, I would say, maybe 10 hours after it came out.
Yeah,
Did some
I
guild stuff.
played quite a bit. I know our friend Randy played a lot of it. Ben, did you play much of it?
I did not. I played it for like a couple of days because it
Okay.
came out at the end of like in May.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. It didn't hook me like the original did. I think it was just I started doing some of the story stuff and I just wasn't enjoying the quest line at all.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't know what it was, but yeah,
I think
because
for me, it's just it scratched that itch that Starfield did the year that came out, and this year there's another game on my list very similar to Elder Scrolls that like I've been in the mood to play these types of games. I don't know what to call them other than Bethesda likes, like that style of game has really been hitting hard for me the last couple years, and I've been eating that shit up every time they put one of these out. Except for the Outer Worlds 2, which strangely that one didn't hit for me. There were games on my list I like better than that one, but
that was my guess as to what you were talking about.
yeah, no, I have another game that's similar to Elder Scrolls.
I got you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, but yeah,
the one that you're going to talk about, Josh, did you play that before or after the Oblivion remaster? I can't remember.
After, because Outer Worlds didn't come out until like October.
No. I mean the other one that you're talking
Oh,
about.
I played that. I played that first.
For some reason.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean it's because we haven't revealed it for our list yet.
Yeah. We don't want to spoil it.
Aaron doesn't understand how lists work. So.
So anyway, yeah, if you've somehow never played Oblivion, which I know, Alex, you're not big on Bethesda games anyway, but if you're listening to this and you're the kind of person that's like, I've always wanted to try out like a good Bethesda game, never played Oblivion before, this is the definitive way to play it, the best way to play it. It's the best version of it.
Yeah.
Ben is right. I don't know how lists work. I accidentally gave you my number 3 right after my number 2 Mario Kart World.
Hell yeah.
That sounds right.
Perfect. Oh my God.
So...
Right.
Yeah, Aaron gave his, so now it's Alex's turn.
And we're on number 8, right?
Yeah, number 8.
All right, my number 8, technically, it's a 2025 release that this is the one game, Josh, that I did not get to in 2025 just because of time and everything and how crazy the last quarter of our year was.
Mm-hmm.
But I've played 20 hours of it now, and I decided, you know what? We haven't done this yet. I'm throwing it in here. I have Hades 2 at number 8. Does anybody have it higher?
I do have it higher.
Yeah. So
okay, cool. I figured if anybody played it, I bet it's higher than that. And it would be higher than that if I played more of it. So yeah, we'll talk about that one later.
Okay. So we're on number 7.
Did I do my number 8?
Oh, did you do your number 8 yet?
I don't think so.
Oh, shit. I'm sorry. My bad.
Yeah, go for it.
My number 8 is Skate.
Oh, nice. Yeah. I know you played a shit ton of that.
Free-to-play skating game from EA, the reboot of Skate. The much requested Skate 4 from all the comments.
Hashtag Skate 4.
Skate 3 was like a 360 game, right? When did that come out?
It was a 360 game.
Long time.
Yeah, it's been a long time. There's a lot I like about this game. There's a lot I don't like about this game, but it's like genuinely like the perfect podcast game. And it has challenges where you can earn up to 3 stars in it. And that's kind of my favorite almost one of my favorite types of games. So if you're going to give me like a small task to do over and over again until I can perfect it, I'm kind of there. And then it also has just like a pretty good open world that you can go around and skate in. You can do a bunch of crazy stunts like flying off of skyscrapers and stuff like that, or you can do some really cool flowy street skating. The skating is good. Most of the stuff around it is really bad. The free-to-play elements are dumb. The multiplayer is like really poorly implemented. The personality from the first 3 games has been completely stripped. Like,
yeah,
it's like it's not funny or interesting. Like the fact that they got Tim Robinson to do a sketch about like to launch it and to talk about it, and then it has like
Oh
no
my
comedy
god.
personality
I didn't even
in it
know that. That's so weird.
whatsoever. Yeah, it's just really sad. It's like a
Oh
really
god.
sad like you have an AI like companion as your person. Like you have like a little Siri type
Oh
thing. Her name
god.
is V. She sucks. There's no like how what's his name? My name is Earl. Like was in the other ones is Coach Frank. He's not there. Like Coach Frank isn't even in it. They like hint at him with like Easter eggs, but like it's not him. There's these three like basically lifeless characters in it that talk to you sometimes. It's just kind of whack in that way, but like I said, you can't show me a game where I get to do 3 stars or 5 stars or whatever and little micro goals, and I'm not gonna I'm gonna have a fun time with it.
Oh
So
yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
Is the skating in it? Because I remember like I didn't play a ton of Skate 3, which by the way came out 15 years ago. It was
Jesus
2010.
Christ.
That's insane.
yeah,
Um, it always felt like Tony Hawk was like the arcade skate game,
mhm,
and then Skate was more like simulation, like kind
yeah.
of more realistic. Is it still play that way?
Yeah,
Like,
it's
is it
it's still the flip stick. Like you
okay?
use your right stick to control your board in a way. So if you're doing like flip tricks, you like flip it around to kind of like you do up and around, like almost like a quarter circle, like what is it, like a fireball movement, to
Mhm.
do a pop shove it, because that's kind of the way the board moves. So it's
That's
kind of
cool.
intuitive in that way.
That'd be satisfying too. Yeah.
Yeah, and like to grab the board, you use the triggers, and it's like left hand, right hand grab, and then you kind of move your stick to kind of move your board around to tweak the board and stuff. So it's not Tony Hawk, right? It's not triangle to grind. You're like jumping onto the rail and then kind of moving your board to set up the grind that you want to do. So
That's cool.
yeah,
At
it's
least they
cool.
kept that part of it.
Oh
Like,
yeah, it's
it's got
very
to
physically.
differentiate somehow. That's cool.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's cool. It's fun and it's free. Like you can't really
Yeah.
beat it.
Right.
Like even if you get in and you just want to like skate around and ignore everything else about it, you're gonna have a decent time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played more of the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4 remake, remaster, whatever you want to call it, because I've
Hmm.
always just been more of a Tony Hawk fan. I don't like using the stick to ollie and control that stuff. It's just never clicked with me. And I've said it before, I love skateboarding culture. I have a Thrasher magazine subscription to this day. I still have that, which Ben, by the way, at some point I'm going to give you all my back issues of that because I don't know what else to do
Nice.
with them. And Ben and I share skateboarding videos with each other all the time on Instagram. So I love that culture, but I'm extremely unbalanced. Never learned how to skateboard myself. A lot of my skateboarding interest came from Thrasher Pro Skater and Tony Hawk as a kid, and also Bam Margera as well. So I like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4. I don't know if that comes up later on your list at all, Ben.
No, I had it there.
Okay.
It's like in my list of 2025 games, but I think as much as I didn't have a fun. I like Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1, like that was my
Yeah.
game,
Yeah.
and I played a little bit too. I never really got into 3 and 4. I don't know why when I was young.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it like when I was playing it because I did play 3 and 4. But I don't know. Something about skate just kind of going around in that open world is a little bit, it just put it above as far as like the skateboarding game I wanted to highlight.
Yeah, the thing I liked about 3 and 4 that they did, because I know a lot of people didn't like how they manipulated like the way 4 plays. It was like an open world
Yeah.
game originally. The thing I like to do with those games now is they let you set the timer to be longer. So rounds are what, like 2
Mm.
minutes normally, like a
Yeah.
round is. So you can set it to be up to like 10 minutes if you want. And so for somebody like me that's bad at skateboarding games, I appreciate it. They let you do that because I could do more objectives in a run and like get a feel for it. I'm extremely bad at Tony Hawk and skate, but I still, like I said, I love the culture around it and I love playing them even though I'm fucking trash at them. So
Cool.
all right. So you guys gave your 8s.
Now
So
we're
I'm
going
on
to sevens.
on 7s.
Yep.
Okay. Who goes? I can't remember who fucking goes first. I guess Ben.
think it's
Technically,
Ben.
we're back around to you because we
Yeah.
didn't let you do 8. Yeah. Go ahead and
Alright,
just do your number
yeah.
7. We'll reset.
All right,
here.
my number 7 is a web game called Clues by Sam. It's a logic-based puzzle game, and basically it comes down to like 2 binary choices, whether or not the people that are in this, I think it's like a 4x5 or 4x4 grid, are either innocent or guilty, and you get like little clues as to whether or not they're innocent or guilty, and it only lets you pick them like if you can logically figure it out. And it's a new puzzle every day, kind of like a Wordle or Connections, and it's a good mind tickler in that way. So I saw Northern Lion play this a little bit on his like Doles streams that he does sometimes, like his daily
Oh, I love the Doles.
games. Yeah, and so he played it. He was playing it early on, and then I think it takes a little bit longer, especially if it's really tricky. So he kind of knocked it from his stuff. But I've been like, if I get through my Wordle and my connections really quickly, I'll go and play Clues by Sam. And I think it's a really smart, fun game. And one of my better experiences here is I actually would get on like a call with my mom every Sunday for a while, and we would play through it. And I was like teaching her how to do like logic and like really making her think about
Oh,
it
I
and
love
stuff.
that.
And so
That's
it was
super
like
cool.
really fun. And it's like something you can like use to really like, okay, if this, then that, like a very much like very get into a deep thing of like logic that way. And it's cool. I think Aaron would like it. I think Josh, you would like it.
Yeah, sounds
I
cool.
think everybody would like it. I think it's just
Yeah.
like, it's one of those like, I don't know, like a mastermind or something like that, from when you were a kid that just
Mhm.
kind of works really well. And I like the kind of the not aesthetic but just kind of the trappings of it. You can do a lot of like, oh, I can mark this person as possibly like kind of like a minesweeper, like, oh, maybe
Oh
this
yeah.
person is guilty or isn't innocent. And they've added like a lot of good stuff like that since the beginning, because at the beginning it was just kind of like, oh, you do this. But if you just go and get, like, it'd be very easy if it was like, oh, I guessed if this person was innocent or guilty and I got it wrong, so now I can guess that they're innocent. It won't let you do that, because otherwise that's not a fun game. You're just
You're
you're
just
just doing it.
eventually.
Yeah, you're just brute forcing it, and it won't let you do that. And I think that's really smart,
I know
Yeah,
because
that's
there's
right.
just there's a linear path like through the puzzle. So
That sounds
Uh,
very cool.
Speaking of, I know that's right, Alex. I was telling the boys earlier when we were playing Arc Raiders. I kept saying it. I was like, Alex's friend Sam says, "I know that's right" all
Sam.
the time. Is it
Like
because of Northern
constant.
Lion that he says that? We were trying to figure that out because that's
I don't
where.
think so.
Okay.
I don't know why he says it, but it's just everything. I
It's
know that's right.
it's
Just every
insanely
5
funny.
seconds.
He just probably said it like 20 times during during your
Yeah.
extra life stream this year. So I was
Oh
like,
my
I just
god.
kept spamming it today during our Creator session. But
We're
anyway,
2 months later. It's still constant, and it's still just as funny somehow.
shout out Sam. I know Sam's not listening,
Yeah.
but love you, buddy. You fucking rule.
We'll talk
I
about
know
him
that's
later.
right.
Funny enough.
Oh yeah, we will. All right,
Mhm.
Aaron,
All
what
right.
is your number 7?
All right, this might be on Ben's list. Pibs,
No, I don't know what that. Oh, that's a New York Times game.
I don't think Ben
New York
drinks
Times
soda.
game.
Yeah,
Oh.
I've seen it.
Huh.
Yeah.
I never played it.
Ben's seen soda. He's never drank any.
Yeah, exactly.
Admired
I'll
from
keep it
afar.
short. Pibs is a game where, I mean, it's very math based, but you are taking dominoes and you're essentially putting them in spots, and you're essentially saying, like, you're building numbers, right? So you might have 2 spots and it'll tell you that you can't have a number higher than 3. So every day they have 3 new puzzles. They have an easy, a medium, and a hard. And for a while I was really into it every day. I would actually start that before I even started Wordle. Because I don't know, it was just kind of right up my alley with like that logic-based math stuff. I fell off of it a lot like the last couple of months, but I enjoyed it whenever I played it.
I have played this. I just opened the app. I forgot it was on there.
Oh yeah.
It's very cool. I like
It's
that.
like strangely easy to forget, even though I'm pretty sure it's at the top, right?
Yeah, it is. I had to scroll by it to get to Wordle.
Yeah, I know. It's just what I think everybody does.
Yeah.
But like I said, there was like a period of time where I was really enjoying it, so I thought I'd mention it.
Hell yeah.
Nice, love to hear it. Alex, what's your number 7?
My number 7 will absolutely be talked about later. It is Ball Pit.
Yeah, buddy.
It's climbed up more and more every time I've looked at my list. I
Yeah,
think.
I'm so glad that I pushed you to play that. There's another game on my list that you pushed me to play this year that ended up really high on my list too that I have you to thank you for. So we'll talk about that
Hell
later.
yeah.
My number 7.
Josh, what's your number 7?
Let's talk about
Yeah.
Abiotic Factor, baby.
Okay, yeah, let's do it.
So, how would you describe Abiotic Factor to somebody who has no idea what we're talking about?
Abiotic Factor is a sci-fi co-op survival game with a little bit of story.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
whenever Alex and I did the Swirly Awards this year, like 2 of my oh shit moments came from this game. So these are minor spoilers for Abiotic Factor. It's mostly just one of those things where it's like very much a game about discovery and survival. And a lot of the fun of the game is seeing this stuff for yourself the first time. So if you're listening and you don't want Abiotic Factor spoilers, you can tune out for a minute or two. So Ben, for oh shit moments for Abiotic Factory, I came up with the first time we ran into people, like other people, and they had guns.
Oh yeah.
And they shot us and killed us.
Yeah.
And the other oh shit moment I talked about was, I don't remember the name of it, that giant tall creature that we had to sneak around.
Those
where
are
it's
crazy.
it's just one of those, like, we really enjoyed playing it together. It scratched the itch for Ben of like the hunting and gathering and the building and crafting. I was just kind of along for the ride for that because you're much smarter about that shit than I am. But very much a moment-to-moment exploration and discovery game. Every new thing felt cool. We fell off of it because another game this year came out, and I think that took away a lot of our time from it also. I would not be opposed to coming back to this at some point because I'm in their Discord server, and it seems like they're regularly updating it, and people are still really enjoying it. So I'd love to go back
I would love
with
to
you
come
sometime.
back to it.
But
I think I need to get it. I think I need to buy it. A lot of a lot of the games I fell off of were on Game Pass. So.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. But yeah, it's a really fun one of those. Alex, I feel like next time we play, maybe you can download it and play it with us if it's crossplay, because it's on PlayStation Plus, I think.
Oh, yeah. I think I have it installed too. Like I remember we talked about it forever.
We did
ago,
talk about it.
Yeah, I'll get it ready. It just never happened.
It's one of those games where it's like it'd be hard to start it over. Like, I would love to have you come join us because we put so much fucking time into it already. Like, it's really hard.
Sure.
Just like a Minecraft, it's really hard to start with nothing. Like in Minecraft, you just start with like your fists to pound the blocks and stuff, you know? Abiotic Factor is a lot more fun once you really get the ball rolling with it.
Yeah, and I think it does something really smart for like a survival game, because like most of the time your survival games are going to be like open world, and they'll like lead you from area to area maybe, but this is a lot more linear in that it takes you through like this underground base, because it's kind of like a Half-Life, right? And so like that's kind of its trappings. And so it really takes you through this like underground base, and you're really making progress through that. And it's not like you can just wander around endlessly. You're really like pushing through and setting up new like forward operating bases, and maybe moving some of your old stuff. But a lot of the times you're just like, well, we'll just make new stuff. And so I think it's really cool in that way. I think it's a really, really well done one of those.
For sure. And the core gameplay loop is like when it's nighttime, the power goes out and like you're in the dark unless you have a flashlight or fire or whatever. So like a lot of your stuff for crafting, like your tables are powered by electricity. So it's like, oh shit, like the thing came over the loudspeaker and told us it's about to be nighttime. And then you have a watch that you keep track of your time as well. So it's like one of those things like, oh, we got to scramble and get all of our crafting done because we know we can't do it at night. And then of course the creatures and all that other shit come out at night. So had a lot of fun playing with that with you, and I'd love to come back to it at some point. Ben, what is your number 6?
My number 6 is, what did I put at number 6? I put Blueprints at number 6.
Oh, we will come back to that one a little bit later.
Cool.
Aaron, what is your number 6?
Love to hear it on the list.
Well, really quickly, apparently it's not called Pibs, it's called Pips. So, whoops for the last one.
Mr. Pips?
So, whoops. My number 6 is Final Fantasy Tactics Remastered.
Nice.
Ooh.
So, I don't have a bunch to say about this. I have still not beat it yet. I don't know, I think fairly far into it. I played it back in the day on the PlayStation 1. I'm sure I got stuck at some point because I remember falling off of it really hard even after enjoying it. And then playing it now, I can definitely like see why I probably fell off of it. Like the systems are like tough. Like they're really they're complex. They're kind of tough to get into. There's so much happening in the background that it just doesn't tell you about, that you have to just kind of figure out on your own. Which I enjoy now. I'm sure I wouldn't have enjoyed it as much whenever I was a kid, like just kind of playing those Final Fantasy games and thinking, man, I want to play another Final Fantasy game, and then ending up like playing Tactics because it's very different than kind of your traditional Final Fantasy. But yeah, I don't know. It was a cool game. What I played of it like has been a blast. The remaster, they put full voice acting in it, which is like surprisingly good, especially for like what that game is. And yeah, I don't know. It's a good game.
Is it a spin-off? Oh, sorry, Josh. I was gonna say, is it a spin-off of like a specific Final Fantasy, like, or is it its own like set of characters and everything?
Yeah, it's got its own characters. It technically takes place in the world of Final Fantasy 12, but like they just share random like town names. Like there's really no characters that are, at least in this game, that are shared. I think there was a spin-off later War of the Lions, maybe, or something like that.
Okay.
Over too much. There's a couple characters that look like similar, right? So they have like the design of the Black Mage that's in it, but not necessarily like connected in that way.
Gotcha.
But it's got some really cool job system stuff. If you are using a character and you're like using the abilities, you level up the character and then you can like set different perks for the character. And while you're doing that, you're also unlocking other classes. So yeah, I don't know. It's cool.
Yeah.
No, I was just gonna say I thought about it because I do like Final Fantasy and I do like the occasional tactics games. Like I liked Into the Breach when it was out, and I like the Mario and Rabbids. But then once I heard what Aaron was describing, like I'm very much not a person that has to figure a bunch of shit out and like bang my head against a wall and have a game not tell me what to do. So I was like, yeah, I probably won't play this one, but I'm glad.
Yeah, and it was really good at not telling you what to do and kind of making you figure out things on your own.
I'm gonna be really good at not playing it.
I would say though, like I really have never played tactics games. I think the only other tactics game that I've ever played was the original Final Fantasy Tactics whenever I was like 14 or something.
Yeah.
So it was kind of cool just like playing a game like that, like again being whatever age I am now and like playing one of those. I'm like, oh, I've never actually played games like this before.
Yeah.
So it was kind of fun just kind of learning like how those work and how those systems work.
Nice. Alex. What is your number 6?
I didn't want to say what age I was. I didn't want to get doxxed. You know how it is.
What's my age again? Am I right? Blink 182 fans?
Yeah. So my number 6?
Yep.
Got him. My number 6, I could see being on somebody's list. Maybe you, Aaron. Donkey Kong Bonanza is my number 6.
Yeah, I got a number 5, so we'll talk about it in a minute.
Sweet.
All right. My number 6 is Borderlands 4. Alex, is it higher on your list?
No, that was my number 10. So I think we might be time for it.
So let's talk about Borderlands 4, a game that we both, I think you've played 100 hours of, I've played over 50 hours of, and somehow we've like
so many
gotten halfway through the story because we've done so much of the side stuff.
I don't think I've ever played more of a game and felt not anywhere near being done with it in a way that was like not satisfying at all. I was just like, this is disgusting that my PlayStation is telling me I've put triple-digit hours into this game. I feel like I haven't done anything.
The last best example for me was The Witcher 3. I felt like the diminishing returns after playing that for 50 hours was very much a thing. I think this is the closest since that. I will say, I don't usually come to the Borderlands games for the story, especially like once it started getting really cringy and try hard, especially in 3. This game's a million times better than 3. I think 2 is still probably the best. In terms of gameplay, this is probably the best feeling like shooting Borderlands has been.
I agree. And the movement is great with
movement's really cool.
The grappling and the jumping and all that stuff. Like it's really good.
They really cooked with it, but it's just too much of a good thing. Like I've like, you know how you and I have had this discussion a lot about feeling like that guilt about like all these games that we've dropped and not come back to. Borderlands, I feel like is going to be there waiting at some point. I feel like it's not going to be that hard to get back into besides just remembering like, okay, what mission was I doing? You know?
Right.
But I do wish I had played more of it, but it came out at that busy time of year and other stuff came out. Death Stranding 2 is another big game this year that I wish I would have put more time into, almost even more so than Borderlands. But yeah, I mean, if you like Borderlands, the game has its audience, clearly. You know, people are fucking loving it. I'm sure there's people that are still have played it for 500 hours now that it's been out for this long and are playing it every day with their friends and stuff, because that's just the type of people that play Borderlands. So I can't really say it's a bad game, but I think that it's just too much game. And it is the story mode is definitely too long. If after 50 hours, I'm like halfway through it.
It's one of those games where it's like, you know, I could just see Randy Pitchford sitting there after 3 was a flop, and he like walks in the room. He's like, guys, we're going to make a fucking open world game. And he thought it was so novel and so fucking smart. And it's like, it feels like a dated open world game in what it does with like open world like systems. It's like, oh, here's your fucking collectibles to go get, or here's your little side quests or this and that, and like little things to do. And like none of them are particularly interesting. And honestly, it's on me because I'm incapable of playing an open world game without like, I like open world games that make me want to do everything. Like I don't like mainlining main story quests in open world games. Like if you're going to be open world, to me that tells me you want me to do everything, and that's how I approach those games.
Yep.
And I just could not be bothered to finish it. It was just too much of it, and like fluff in a way that I just was not vibing with. I think part of it might be that like what you said, there are people, I don't think I realized this, who like Borderlands is their fucking game, but they have like still been playing Borderlands 3 for like thousands of hours, still getting guns, still doing the new like whatever new content they put in those games. Like I've always been just a play the story and I'm done with it type of guy for Borderlands, and 4 just felt like it was even more set up for the this is your forever game, and like I was not wanting that at all out of it. But it was infinitely better than 3, and it was good enough that like I'll be excited for 5. But yeah, it was just a good example of like just too much game without any like substance in it after a while.
Yep. Totally agree for sure. I'm definitely in the same ilk as you. Like I definitely play open world games and burn myself out because it's like I see that thing, I want to go do it, I want to check it off my map. I love checklisty games. But
for sure.
One of my other gripes too is like a lot of the stuff that they put like up high on the map for a game that's like much about traversal and stuff. I can't tell you how many times I've had to like drive around cliffs and like look for like where to go. Like it's like you literally could just put a grappling point for me to get up to this thing and you didn't. So now I have to take 10 minutes to like go up the side of this mountain, go up this hill, find this trail, find this road. And a lot of the side quest stuff was like some of the story side quest stuff was interesting, but most of it just boiled down to fetch questy stuff and like finding the thing at the very top of this thing, you know? So it's I'm surprised it ended up ranked high on my list, but like when I think back on it, it's like I got 50 hours out of it. Like I thought it was going to be a top 5 game for me, but the other 5 games bumped it out just barely. I think it's a good Borderlands game. I just think that it's not one that I don't think I'm going to put 50 more hours into it unless we really hit like a drought of new releases. It's nice to know it's there. It's always good to have like a good open world game in the wings, you know, because it's a perfect podcast and watch a video while you're playing a type game. They've always been good for that, and play it and shoot the shit with your friends too.
Yeah, and like you guys play shooters way more than I do. Like I don't play FPS games, and like every so often I do get the itch for it. Like that was what always brought me back to Destiny here and there, was just like, oh, I want to play a shooter right now. Like I don't play shooters, but I don't like competitive ones. God, give me Destiny 3. That's all I want. And I'll come back for that.
A game where we can actually get in on the ground floor and not have to like spend an hour trying to get our bearings, figuring out what was going on, like we did for that one stream on your channel the one time.
God, that was rough. Never went back. Every so often I get in the urge to shoot some stuff, and Borderlands will probably be what I pick for that. But even that, I'm saying that and I'm like, well, there's also Doom that I didn't finish, and I think I'd rather play that. So
I definitely played more Borderlands than Doom. Doom didn't make my list, but Doom's really cool. I think that's one of my favorites out of those Doom games, because the first 2 didn't really do it for me a lot and ended up falling off of this one as well. So all right. So where are we at? We're at Ben's number 5. We're down to our top 5, ladies and gentlemen. We haven't even hit an hour in the podcast yet. We're hitting
we're fucking cooking through this. Yeah.
My number 5 is The Root Trees Are Dead.
Oh,
going along with like kind of logic and puzzles. This game was really fun to play. I played it all pretty much in one night. I didn't quite finish it out, like, because there's some extra stuff that goes along with it if you really dive deep into it. But it was just a chill, fun time of like looking stuff up, and it felt like a really deep detective game in a really cool way. And you get to use like old internet like kind of style stuff, and you're going through magazines and stuff like that to find clues and reading books and just really diving deep into creating like this family tree. And I thought it was fun to do like a family tree and stuff like that. So yeah, it was cool. It was really it has a fun central little mystery, and even though like it's a very basic kind of gameplay loop, it's cool to like put everybody where they're at. It's very Obra Dinn, if you ever played like Return of the Obra Dinn, or if you like the was it Curse of the Golden Idol, those games?
Yeah.
Like if you like those games, this game is for you for sure.
Yeah, MinMax
Anybody else play that this year?
No, but listening to MinMax talk about it for their 210s, I was like, this seems like Blueprints isn't exactly like it, but it feels like similar. Like I'm walking around investigating stuff. Like this was the year that made me want to like dive into some of those games, because I have not played Obra Dinn, any of those.
I think it would be like a perfect game to play with a partner too. Just like have somebody next to you and
cool.
What do you think about this? Like
yeah.
We Ben and I did that with Oberdin on my channel. That was one of the first things we did on Adjectinum Gaming.
The game's fun.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that's right.
All right, Aaron, what is your number 5?
All right, my number 5 is Donkey Kong Bonanza.
All right.
Oh, banana.
Yeah, there we go. Josh, you got it higher?
Do what? No, absolutely not.
Yeah,
I did not make my list.
Yeah.
Alex, go ahead, talk about this for a minute. I have a couple things I want to say about it, but I feel like I want you to like do like the intro for it.
Hell yeah. So Donkey Kong Bonanza is my maybe one of my most scalding hot takes of all time, and I really want you all to be prepared for this. Donkey Kong Bonanza is if the Mario Odyssey development team made a game that was fucking good.
Ooh, Josh, you can just go in and delete that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Christa, if you want to just go ahead and edit that out real quick, and we're gonna edit out our friendship.
I forgot this was your take. I forgot this was your take.
Dude, I know it's a me thing. Also, I'm
so
mostly being cheeky, but it's fucking hilarious. I've tried to play Mario Odyssey twice, and I think I'm the only person on the fucking planet that thinks I don't like moving around as Mario in 3D games. It feels like he's on ice skates, and I can never figure it out. I don't know what it is. But Donkey Kong Bonanza.
I don't think you're allowed to say this.
I know. I'm like, everyone talks about how good they feel to play, and I'm like, I feel like I am like all the buttons are like in reverse when I'm playing it or something. Because it's just
Alex, you know what? I'll give you this. This is probably another hot take. I don't think Mario 64 is that good. I feel like
You also didn't play it as a kid either, besides at my house.
Yeah, maybe that's my problem. Is I also didn't play it as a kid, and like
it is not. As somebody who's a huge Mario 64 lover, it has not aged well. If you're trying to play it in the year of our Lord 2026, you're probably not going to have a good time. It's very much the nostalgia carries it a lot. I can't sit here and tell you that Mario 64 is the best 3D Mario game. I still think Odyssey is the best 3D Mario game by a fucking long shot. But playing Mario 64 puts a smile on my face.
Yeah, and to get back to Donkey Kong, but I did put like 15 hours into Mario Odyssey this most recent time, and I was like, I can see it.
And you didn't like it?
I still fell off, man. I just was like, I don't know. It just wasn't. Maybe I should go back to it now that I've done Donkey Kong. I know. It's like the worst thing I've ever said, video game wise. But DK Bonanza, Donkey Kong in 3D, where the whole point of the game is like, I would love a before and after of like, here's a perfect view of all these incredibly handcrafted levels they have made that are all like so colorful, so varied, all the different layers you go through as Donkey Kong, and then you just absolutely fuck them all up, bust them to pieces, and it feels so good every single time. Collecting all the bananas, I really love the idea of like, you could find treasure chests that will put some of the bananas on the map for you, where it's like it had the completionist in mind of like, you'll be able to get every banana, don't worry. But
I also feel like, kind of like, to bounce off that, every time you collected something, it just felt good. Like, I don't know how they made it happen, but like, it didn't matter if it was a fossil, if it was a banana, it was just like, oh, I got this thing. Cool. That's great. I wanted that.
Yeah. Like, oh, I got a skill point. Like, they made skill points kind of fun because you would get, the different, oh my God, I forget what they call the different like animal forms. You go into like different upgrades for the different traversal things you would do with that, and like,
nah, man, I'm blanking too. I'm trying.
Yeah, just oh my God, whatever they are. But the music is incredible. Like, truly, I felt like playing this. I was like, this is what you guys are feeling when you play Mario Odyssey. Like, this was mine of that, where I was just like fucking giddy the whole time. I played 90 hours of it. I loved it to pieces. How was your I won't get, there's some end of the game story stuff I want to talk about, but how did you find it?
The reason I wanted you to go first is because I'm going to bring up a part of it that I don't think you maybe even played. Did you play any multiplayer?
I did not, no.
Oh, good. Okay.
Like co-op multiplayer or?
Yeah, co-op multiplayer.
Okay. Uh-huh.
So I ended up playing it with my cousins, or not my cousins, my nephews. And it was just an absolute blast. So if you are playing multiplayer, the second controller basically just has a reticle and can just shout words at the environment or at enemies, and the word just explodes the second it hits it. And it is absolutely just insane to play. Like everything, that game already has a lot going on whenever you're destroying things.
Yeah.
But imagine that times 10. Like
Oh,
literally
that
just
sounds incredible.
explosions just constantly. It got to the point it was a little overwhelming, but it was really like a moment of like, this is still really fun because I could still play the main game, and then my nephew was still like having a blast being the second player and still like being able to make a difference playing the game. Because sometimes whenever you have that multiplayer, sometimes I feel like the second player, is just kind of there.
Right.
This really like gave him a like chance to like be a part of the game. So I don't know. It was interesting. It's something I feel like I haven't heard too much about that game whenever it's talked about. So I just wanted to bring it up.
No, yeah, you're the first person I've even heard talk about it. Yeah, that sounds awesome.
All right.
I
Yeah,
also one
anything
more
else?
thing on that.
Yeah.
The King K. Rool reveal at the end. Holy shit.
Dude, so good.
So he just like the bad guy the whole time is this little tiny ass monkey named Void Kong, who's like the CEO of some big tech corporation that's like trying to steal all the bananas or whatever. And it's just there's a moment where you're like got to open this like gold cap to get to where you're trying to get the entire game, and it turns out that gold cap is just King K. Rool's stomach, and he just like pops up and then just like punches Void Kong in the face, and he goes flying. And like the main protagonist of the previous probably 70 hours for me at that point is just gone and like not really brought up ever again. It's just like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, it's King K. Rool's the bad guy the whole time. Like,
Yeah,
that was fucking so cool. I love
it was so good. Yeah, no, the ending of that game was just great. Because it really was like at a point whenever I got to where Void Kong was, where I'm like, all right, this was good. I'm done. Like, I'll play this final battle and
Yeah,
I'll go collect some things afterwards. And then whenever that happened, I was like, oh my God, I'm in this again.
we're so back. Yeah.
Yeah,
It rules. Also, the last thing I'll say, the Lagoon layer, it's like basically the first real level you get to in the game. The music that plays in the background of that, it is, if you haven't heard it in a while, look up just Lagoon layer music from Donkey Kong Bonanza. It's like in my like stratosphere of top video game music. Just that one track alone, it's just so good. What a game.
So
I loved it.
I'm curious, what neither one of us can remember the name of it, but what was your favorite like transformation?
I loved the elephant.
Yeah, me too.
That was so good, especially in the lava level. I think it's the one you get him in, and just like I could just suck up all the lava and not be burned by it. It's incredible.
So whenever I got that, I went back to one of the first levels and just basically just sucked up everything. I was like, I want to see like what you can do with this, and if you can really like take it to the extreme. And it was so great.
That's right. Oh man, it's so fun.
Yeah, I don't want to be the guy that harps on a game that I don't like. I will just say that Alex's feelings about Super Mario Odyssey are how I feel about Donkey Kong Bonanza times about 10. So
wow, get him, guys.
I'll leave it at that.
Fuck that dude.
Hey, let's take a moment and actually talk about how horrible that camera was at times. Josh, go ahead.
Yeah, it was awful. It was one of the worst cameras I've ever seen in a platformer, especially whenever you're like, for a game that encourages you to go underground constantly, and the camera is just unfucking usable when you're below ground. So
yeah, I'd just be like, well, pick a direction, I'm punching my way through, and then see where I pop out the other side. Was basically all you could do with it.
Like I said, that's the end of me harping on it. I don't want, like, I hated it when people shit on Starfield the year that came out, so I'm not going to be that guy that does it to other people. So I'm glad you guys liked it.
Yeah.
So
you liked Starfield?
No, I fucking hated it. Worst game I've ever played. All right, so where are we at now? On is it me or is it Ben again?
Other fives? I have not done my
number 5, Alex.
Oh yeah, Alex is 5 and then mine. Okay, yep. All right.
Yep. My number 5 is Split Fiction.
Hell yeah, dude.
I don't know if this is higher than anybody else's or anybody else.
No.
Yeah, I played this game same as It Takes Two with my wife Tiff, and we love this game. Like, It Takes Two was, God, I'm trying to remember, 2022. I think that was like my number 2 game of that year. Yeah, number 2 sounds right. I think Split Fiction has so many fun little. It's just one of those, like, every like moment to moment of that game feels so good to play, and like they just have so many fun unique ideas of like what makes co-op games fun. And the story is not anything groundbreaking by any stretch of the imagination, but just the conceit of like, oh, you have like a fantasy writer and a sci-fi writer. That alone just gave them like fun little sandboxes to drop you in. Like, here's the Tron level we're in, here's the Lord of the Rings level, here's the like fairies and ogres level, and like just all the little backdrops of playing in these environments and doing the little platforming puzzles and
Pig level.
Oh my god, the pig level, hilarious. I was playing it a second time at like 4 a.m. during my Extra Life stream with Tiff.
I forgot you
I
did
was
that.
like so delirious. I was like, I cannot believe this is like a 30-minute section of this game.
It's pretty nuts.
But it's just so fun to play. And again, like anything my wife loves video games, but she doesn't play a ton of them. So the ones that we can actually play together, that always bumps it up a couple spots for me because it's just so much fun experiencing with her.
It's so hard to find one of those these days. I mean, like there's a lot of online co-op games, but like I mean, I know you guys probably play on your separate PlayStations too, but like couch co-op games are a pretty rare thing these days. So it's always cool when you can find one of those.
Yeah, and they're so smart with like, it's a game that has to be co-op, and I'm sure there's other, if not, maybe they've made this the norm now, but like only one of you needs to buy it and you can play it online together because you have to play 2 people. Like, that's so smart. It's cool. I liked it a lot. I get why it wasn't as received as well as It Takes Two, which It Takes Two winning Game of the Year that year was
Still
hilarious.
so
I
funny.
cannot believe that fucking happened.
Yeah.
I don't think either one of these deserved anything like that, but this one was really, really cool, and they just do a lot of fun stuff. And if anything, that studio, if they pump out a game like this every 2 to 3 years, we will definitely play it and have a good time doing it. So I really liked it a lot.
Yeah, Ben and I played, I think, one session of Split Fiction together. One of those situations where I had it and he played it with me. Ben, I don't know if you have anything you wanted to comment about it. I'm going to kind of just keep my mouth shut like I did with Donkey Kong a little bit. I don't think it's a bad game.
I do not have a positive outlook on that game. I think it's a very fun playing game. I think everything else around it is frustrating and actively annoying.
Did you guys have, like, was it just the gameplay of it, or did you guys have like technical problems with it?
Oh no, not technical. No, I loved playing it. I thought they like do designs. Like the game design itself is really cool.
Yeah,
I thought the story was bad.
Oh, very bad.
I think, and like I don't really, the characters were insufferable and made me not want to play the game anymore. Quite frankly, like they just are not. Like if I'm gonna inhabit these people, like I need them to, or like the best thing for me would have been like, don't have a story. Like make them not talk. Like and just make us do these kind of fun little activities, or like have it be a mini game, like disconnected. I don't know. It was so bizarre to have such fascinating game design butchered by horrible story.
Oh yeah, and having finished the story, it goes exactly where you think it would. They eventually become cool. They open up to each other. They tell each other their secrets. The one who's like mean and bitchy has her reasons for being mean and bitchy, and the one who's super happy has this like really sad thing that happened to her that she's like, well, I just try to be positive now. And it's at number 5 in spite of all those things. For me, I cannot disagree in any way with.
It's got the Tiffy buff. That's why I totally get it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think some people can just tolerate some of that stuff better than I can. It's just
Well, I think the thing for us too that made it harder to play
like narrative games.
Yeah, well, that and then it's just like us living in 2 different states with busy schedules and stuff. It's like Alex and Tiff live together. It's easy for them to arrange a time to play that together. Playing it online with a friend is a little bit of a tougher scenario, but I didn't like hate it or anything. I just never felt the need to go back to it. And Aaron and I played It Takes Two a couple times together in the same way that Ben and I played Split Fiction together. Same situation. Liked what they were trying to do. I think the gameplay part of Split Fiction was better than It Takes Two. At least it was more interesting, and just seeing how many different things they ripped off from other things, and just being in awe of how they did that. How they borrowed from so many other games and movies. But
It Takes Two story is like so insanely bad in like an entertaining way, where this one's just like painfully boring. It Takes Two is just like, wow, these people fucking suck so bad, and that's like funny in its own right. But
he's in a league of his own making games like this, though. Nobody else makes them quite like he does. So you gotta give it up to him for that, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So now my number 5, right? And
I think so.
gonna be a quick one. Ben, we're gonna talk about it later. Arc Raiders, my number 5.
Yeah, we are gonna talk about that later.
Oh yeah, baby. All right, Ben.
I like that it's on your list though.
Oh yeah, dude. Absolutely. There's no way it wasn't gonna be. What's your number 4, Ben?
My number 4 is Baby Steps.
Nice.
Oh,
I haven't even beat
Ben,
this
are
game
you
yet.
gonna wait? Pause.
It's cool.
Ben,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Ben, are you gonna talk about this for more than 3 minutes?
Probably.
Good. I gotta go to the bathroom. I'll be back.
Okay. I'm glad we interrupt me for that. Yeah, Baby Steps is cool.
Hey Ben, I'll do it again too.
Okay. You gonna do it a third time? Because that's funnier. Doesn't understand the rule of threes. Anyway, Baby Steps is cool. It's a very neat, like challenging walking game. It's pretty funny. I like the main character. I like I think I might like more of the outside discussion of this game more than I liked playing the game itself. I think it's like an interesting game just as like a game design piece too. And the fact that it's like built around challenge but also built around the story of like asking for help and why like people and even like gamers challenging themselves maybe is kind of toxic in a weird way, and how like rugged individualism isn't actually good despite all we've been taught to believe in, and that building a community and accepting help is healthy. And so I don't know, that's a really cool thing about it. I think it's funny. It's so funny.
yeah.
Like
It
just
looks
walking around
crazy.
and like the challenging parts of it are really fun and challenging, but like when you fall down it's funny. But I think like if you are decent at games, I think you won't uh if you look at the lineage of these games, right? So if you look at Benefati's like lineage of games and you exclude like Ape Out, right? But you have Quap, you have the horse one, which was what, Clop, I think. I think he made that one too. And then Gerp, which is the climbing one, and then you have like most famously Getting Over It with Benefati, right? Which inspired a lot of like inspired your Getting Ups, your Chained Together, stuff like that. They're the rage
Right.
kind of bait kind of platformers, right?
Yeah.
Obviously inspired by other games too. He talks a lot about the game that inspired him that was kind of made of this pastiche of just like trash assets. But that is like made to make you upset and like lose progress. Baby Steps, you don't really do that. Like you can lose progress in a small section, and sometimes you can lose progress in a bigger section, but it's not as difficult to recover, I feel like. And it doesn't feel as defeating for some reason. I don't know why, if it's just because in that 2D plane you don't see the whole world, so you get up high and then you start falling, and then you get down to back where you remember, but you're not looking at the whole world from the bottom. Like you don't see where you got to from the bottom. But in Baby Steps, like you can look up and be like, oh, I got up there once, I can get up there again, and you can always have that goal in mind. And I think that's super helpful for that game. And just like, okay, I need to step this way. And I guess speaking like in the physical world, like I'm a bigger dude. Nate is a bigger dude in this game, and he's very unsure in his steps, and I'm a bigger dude who's very unsure in his steps when you go climbing and stuff like that. So I'm constantly thinking about, where am I putting my feet when I go on hikes and stuff like that? As someone who likes to be outdoors, but I'm not a nimble person. So when I'm walking, I am focused personally on where I'm putting my feet. And to see that represented in a game is actually pretty cool. I think it's like if you see like a lot of outdoorsy people that maybe climb, like one of our best friends climbs a lot, right? He does bouldering, and he's probably constantly thinking in his head about that, and to have him have that kind of represented in a game is probably super powerful. And to know like, yeah, like if Nate kind of loses his step here, his momentum is going to carry him a lot farther than somebody who's like skinny or more athletic, because he's a heavier dude and I'm a heavier dude, and I know how that feels to be like, well, when I'm going down this hill, like I either got to run down this hill or I got to really be careful where I put my steps, because if I slip, like I'm going down. There's no like holding this body up. And Nate's going down if he's not careful. So I think it's
I
and yeah, yeah.
I
Did
have
any
not
of you
played
guys
this
play
game.
this? Okay.
I have not,
No.
but I think the Game of the Year season has like blown my mind at how high up it's been on so many different people's lists. And like looking into it and hearing people talk about it, I feel like this game more than any other game has like a fucking Grand Canyon size gap in between how
It's so
goofy and
divisive.
silly it looks
Oh
on
yeah.
the surface, but then like the stuff you're talking about, it goes so deep, so many levels. Like Jeff, I'm from MinMax, said it might be his favorite game of all time, and you watch a trailer of that, and you're like, that cannot be possible. But like when you're playing it and all the stuff that everyone's experienced, like what you're talking about, it just hits so many levels that like strike to like the core of what it's like to be a human being. And it's like, that's so crazy that he did that with a game of like goofy guy walks up
Oh yeah.
cliff and falls over while doing it. Like that's so impressive.
And like they want you to hate this guy. Like I think from the like they kind of want you to hate this guy. He's not painted in a positive light from the beginning. And you kind of learn more about him, and you kind of build like it's very interesting that you build sympathy for this character that really, like, if you didn't know anything about him and you just saw that first screen where he's in his parents' basement smoking weed watching what is it, I think One Piece, like yeah, that guy in a onesie, you know, 30 some odd years old, like you are conditioned to hate that person. Like just like he's a bigger dude, he's doesn't seem to be doing anything with his life. But when he starts talking and you start kind of seeing where he's like nervous about every single thing that he does in his entire life, like yeah, it's interesting. And I really want to get back to it. I've been playing it with Kay watching. I think I've only played it a couple times, but like it's fun to have somebody watch you play it. I don't think I would enjoy it nearly as much without like having somebody there to like cheer me on or to like watch with it. It's one of those games that I feel like
that's why the Giant Bomb race videos were always really fun when they were racing against Kind of Funny. It's a game that I don't think I'll ever personally play, but I love watching people play it for sure.
And like it's really interesting because I'm not someone who plays super hard games or games that people really think are hard and like feels good at them. I feel pretty good at baby steps. Like there's parts where I struggled, but I feel like I get it. Like if I get into the thing, like I can understand it and I can beat the challenges that are in front of me. It's really interesting to hear some people be like, yeah, I couldn't do this. Like it just sounds like either they're not, I mean, and it's fine. Everybody, you know, whatever. Right. But like to have no interest in kind of getting over that challenge, it's kind of fascinating to me because I think, you know, some like they just don't want to learn how to do it. It's like one of those times where I'm like, yeah, you're just kind of bad at it, but you have to work at it to get better. Like it seems like very weird.
Yeah, it's huge baby steps. Like it's
in
the name.
Well, it's like,
oh boy, Ben, I have a game series for you.
Yeah, I know, but it's like the same people who will say that about the games, like about the Souls series, right? Where they'll be like, no, you just have to keep going, you just have to keep trying. But they like play this game where movement is not standardized, like as every other game, and they're like, oh, it's too hard. It's not. I hated it. It felt bad. Like, brother, like you play all these other games that where stuff is hard and doesn't play like I don't know. So that was a really interesting side conversation too. I think it sparks a lot of, you know, interesting conversations and things about the form like good art should. So there's my diatribe, Aaron, so you could go pee.
Hey, dude, it was perfect. I actually almost had time to go out to my garage to get the buffalo chicken dip.
Ooh.
But
Aaron, did you play Baby Steps, or have you watched anybody play Baby Steps?
Nope, not even a second of it. I love hearing people talk about it, but I have no interest in watching it. I don't know. It's weird. I don't know why.
I don't know if it's on Switch or not. I know that's like kind of the only console you play on nowadays. So
yeah.
All right.
But yeah, that's
Aaron,
my number 4.
What is your number 4?
My number 4 was the Bravely Default remaster.
Oh yeah, I forgot that happened.
RPG
Boy this year.
RPG boy every year. I'll keep it quick because this is a remake of an old game. But I had never had the chance to play the original. They had made a sequel, I think. I don't know. The series is weird with the numbering and the naming. But I know there was a Switch game. I never played it. But whenever the Switch 2 came out, I wanted to get, obviously, another game to play other than Mario Kart World. So I picked up Bravely Default. Really, really enjoyed it. It was kind of just a perfect, like, old school RPG with a lot of quality of life stuff built into it. You could make the battles go a little bit faster. The job system was really well done. And there wasn't necessarily anything that was too like overly complicated about the systems, things like that. Everything was fairly straightforward. What ended up being really cool about that game, though, was the last couple acts of that game did something really cool. It's hard to talk about without spoiling it. But basically, you were like replaying the game multiple times, which I'm sure probably frustrated a lot of people whenever they played it originally. But like, I don't know, for me, I was just cracking up, especially because I could tell where the game was going with it. And the ending of it was just great. Like it made sense with the context of everything that was happening in the world. There was enough like hints kind of along the way that it made sense, and it like felt really satisfying to get to the ending that was I don't know, made for that game. But yeah, no, it was a really like kind of cozy RPG in a way that kind of came at a time where I wanted a cozy RPG.
Yeah, my brother's a big fan of the Bravely Default games. The like thing with the combat is like it's like braving or something, right? Where you kind of like store up actions to like burn them all at once or something like that is like how the
system kind of like Octopath in a way. It's weird because it's like Octopath, but it's not. But yeah, you can store things up. You can actually like in the first turn do 4 attacks, but you then can't attack for 4 other turns afterwards.
Right. Yeah.
So like it's really got this cool system of just trying to figure out like what can you do like at the beginning to either like win the entire battle, or what do you need to do to just save stuff up so that way whenever you do have a chance to like really unleash a bunch of stuff. Yeah. Near the end of the game, like if you can kind of figure out the systems, there's a lot of ways to kind of break it, which was really fun. Because as you just kind of play and start figuring out like how different jobs work, you can like combo a lot of stuff together, and it just feels really good and really well designed.
Oh yeah.
Aaron, get Dragon Quest with me in a couple weeks so we can talk about it. I'm excited to play that.
Hey, maybe, man. I've been thinking about it. It looks good.
I played a couple hours of that demo and really liked it. I haven't played a Dragon Quest game since 8 on the PS2. So.
Oh, really? You never played 12?
Nope.
Oh, 12 was good.
8 is one of my favorite RPGs I've ever played. It's a long fucking game, so I didn't finish it, but I loved that game. So this reminds me of that in a lot of the best ways. So I'm hoping it's good. I have it pre-ordered.
Is this one of the remakes?
No, this is the new one. Yeah, this is the brand new one.
Okay, they're also like remaking the first 3 or something.
Yeah, this is
so this is a remake.
Reimagining of 7.
It's a reimagining. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's pretty different. Crazy. Like it's brand new in the sense of like it's like got a completely new art style and everything. And I think they did change like a good amount of stuff for it. It's called 7, just like the original, but I think it is a lot different than that one. But
yeah, I think the original was supposed to be like 100 hours long or something, and they just put some things in it that weren't like expanded on, or like I don't know. So I think they went in and just did some cool like side stuff with it and made it look nice. Tried to tweak some things to make parts of it a little bit more straightforward.
But yeah, I enjoy a good RPG from time to time too. And that's gonna be my next one. I'm excited for it. A couple weeks away. All right, Alex, what is your number 4?
My number 4, I bet we are talking about later, unless it's also your number 4, Josh. My number 4 is Ghost of Yotei.
Yep, it is my number 4. We get to talk about it now, brother. Let's fucking go. I'm going to let you take the reins on it. This was the game I alluded to earlier. It was just like Dragon Age the Veilguard, where Alex just kept talking about it over and over again. He's like, people are really shitting on this game, and I really need you to play it just so I don't feel like I'm not going crazy. I think this game rules. I need somebody else to play it. I think you're going to really like it. And then what sold me was hearing you and Grayson talk about it at your dad's retirement party, and being like, it sounds like this game fixes every issue I had with Ghost of Tsushima, which like one of the most beautiful looking games I've played, but I really disliked the combat because I didn't like the stances thing. And I think this game's combat is so much better, and that made such a huge difference for me in pushing me to put 50 hours in this and play way more of it than I thought I was going to.
Yeah. The one gripe I'll have isn't even my own gripe. It's funny enough, like just the way I talk about video games with my best friend Grayson from high school. This is the type of stuff that he thinks about, and this is why he actually like Tsushima more than Yote. So the combat system is sort of like a rock, paper, scissors of like, what is the enemy holding in their hands? I should be attacking this way to more efficiently beat them. In the first game, it was just stances because the whole game you just have one katana. It's just the way you hold it, and the moves are different depending on the weapon of the enemy. In this one, it's entirely different weapons you're using. And it is funny if you think about it. The way you can switch the weapons you're holding and how fast and instantaneous it happens.
Yeah.
It is so not realistic in a funny way of like, I'm holding two katanas and then I just parried with a spear and then I swung at you with a giant sword and then I have a gun out now. And it's like, that's the stuff that like Grayson looks at. He's like, I fucking hate this. It just takes me out of it. Whereas a katana, it's like you're just flowing with your hands or whatever.
Yeah.
But I agree. I think the combat gameplay wise is way more fun in this game. So I was really curious what a sequel to Ghost of Tsushima would look like. And I actually love the direction it seems like they're going, where like the Ghost series is going to be like a samurai anthology series of RPGs. And I think that's a really cool way to do it because like I never finished the DLC of Tsushima, but I was like, there's nothing else to do with Jin. Like, how are they going to make a second one? It was like, oh, they're going to talk about a completely different character in a different place and time in Japan. And Ghost of Yote, the conceit is very simple. It's, you know, you play as Atsu, whose parents and twin brother are murdered by a group of outlaws named the Yote Six. And it's like Lord Saito's this like general who's like leading this group, his clan, to like rebel against the shogun and all this stuff. And it's his sons and like cronies in his gang. And it's just a revenge story of you trying to kill the people who killed your parents. And it actually does have some cool moments that subvert your expectations a little bit. And
Some
what
might
it's
call them
doing.
oh shit moments. Shout out to the Swirly Awards because that took up the majority of that category for us the time we talked about it.
It really did.
Moments from this game.
Yeah, because it's set up as like, oh, the story's not why you're here, but like they actually had some really cool moments in it that hit pretty hard.
It's a very basic samurai tale, a story of revenge, which is like, if you watch Akira Kurosawa movies, like the stories are all very similar, but that's just that style of storytelling, you know?
Yeah.
Like look at Westerns, like Westerns do the same thing. Like they all have a very basic plot structure. And then where the interesting parts come in is like, what does the director of that movie or game or like the writers want to do to make it different? And the shit moments are what like push this over the edge to be better and more interesting than Tsushima for me, for sure.
Yeah. And like, this game is almost like the antithesis to Borderlands 4 and that it's an open world game that just does all the open world things so much better. All of it's so much more interesting and fun and interactive.
Yep.
Like some of it was in Ghost of Tsushima where like if you're running around and all of a sudden you see a little bird will fly by you and you just follow the bird and they'll lead you to a bamboo strike mini game or a hot springs or a fox den or something like that, like some activity to do a thing. And this one also added like painting where you're like sitting in this beautiful vista, which by the way, this is like maybe the most beautiful game that came out in 2025. Like graphically, it's just so
graphically
pretty.
One of the best looking games I've ever played, period. It's striking.
Oh my God.
And this is on a PlayStation 5 console that I got in 2020. I can't even imagine what it would look like on a PS5 Pro or like when it comes to PC, like eventually, which will probably happen, you know, like somebody running like an insanely high end PC. Like it already looked good in just performance mode. I can't imagine adding the fidelity, you know, on top of that, how good it would look. It's striking. Like it's legitimately a beautiful game.
Yeah, I'm a huge Sony fan at this point. Like I love my PlayStation. It's the primary place I play my games.
Yep, same here.
They fucking priced me out of the PS5 Pro, that's for sure. Where I was like, absolutely not. This is the only game where I've been like even thinking about of like you said, like, God, how does this look on a Pro? Or like, how buttery smooth does it look on this thing? And like, it's still fantastic on the base PS5, but like, it's just Sucker Punch back in the day made my favorite game of all time in Sly 2. And it's just so fucking funny that this is what they're doing now. And it's so good. And I hope, honestly, I'm just praying because I'm pretty sure I saw a thing that said Ghost of Yote was like the third best selling game in the US this past year, which is impressive. Like Call of Duty sucking, I think helped because I think it was just
it ranked even higher than that, which like as somebody who's a big COD fan who doesn't like COD this year, like, that's fucking amazing to see. It's so great to see.
It was like NBA and something else, maybe Battlefield, I forget what it was, but it's like it sold so well. It's like one of their premier IPs that I'm just like begging that for this to lead to Sucker Punch being able to like dabble in Infamous or make a remaster or do something with Sly, something
Infamous
like that.
Second
like,
Son was so fun on PS4. I loved that game.
Yeah, this game just this was the open world vibes game of like, speaking of my buddy Grayson, him and his wife in their basement, they just redid their whole basement, got like the LG C5 OLED TV. Like they never had an OLED TV, surround sound lights, really comfy couch. And I went over there to watch the start of that game. And I was just like, dude, I am so fucking jealous you get to play this whole game in this environment, because it is just, it's your like AAA ass, just fucking awesome game, like just big and spectacular in every way. And they actually nail it in that it's not just, you know, flashy, you know, looks and stuff like that. Like it has some really great substance, and they do some really cool stuff as an open world game that like everyone's fucking doing them these days, and you need to do cool, unique stuff to stand out. And I feel like they're the best at that right now.
It isn't just awesome style over substance, even though we have harped on about the style of it a lot. It is the reason why I got an OLED TV, is to play games like this. The substance there, though, in terms of like the open world games I played this year, I really, in those 50 hours that I spent with it, I don't recall a time ever really being like burnt out on it in the way I was, like, especially with like Borderlands 4. Like all the side stuff was interesting. Some of the side stuff ended up being just as interesting as some of the main stuff with the storytelling. And it was just, the word I'd use for this game for me is satisfying and surprising. Like surprising in the sense of me loving it as much as I did. I mean, I don't even know if I told you this. I think this is like one of my favorite open world games I've ever played, period.
Hell yeah.
I absolutely love it.
Did you have any like hesitation starting it, having already played a little bit of Assassin's Creed Shadows?
So we talked about that a little bit on the Swirly Awards under the games we wish we played more of category. And I think it's a double-edged sword for me, because I think that Assassin's Creed Shadows is the best one they've put out probably like the last 5 years or so, because they actually did change up the combat quite a bit. I find the feudal Japan setting to be really fascinating in movies and in games usually. So if you're on the fence about Assassin's Creed and you haven't played Ghost of Yotei, I would say Ghost of Yotei is the better one of these two. And it, like I said, it makes me sad that I didn't play more of it, because Ghost of Yotei does this just about every way better than Assassin's Creed Shadows did. But I feel like if I had played through all of Shadows, I probably wouldn't have been wanting to play Yotei. You know, I was already like not wanting to play it that much. And I feel like if I had forced myself to play 50 hours of Shadow, there's no way I would have immediately went right into another samurai game. So it's a double-edged sword for me for sure. I would recommend Shadows though, like if it ever goes on sale, like on a deep discount, like perfect like $20 or less game for sure. There's so much to do there, just like any other Ubisoft game, another company that's in fucking shambles right now.
But
Ghost of Yotei, I can't thank you enough for
too. Josh, did you feel like you want to like ever go back and play Tsushima again?
No,
because of Yotei?
No, absolutely not. Yeah, Yotei does everything better than Tsushima for me. Like every reason that I stopped playing Tsushima is why I like Yotei so much more, especially the combat. Like the unrealistic part doesn't bother me that much, because it's so varied that it's fun to play. It never took me out of it. Like the action actually pulled me in. I understand the realism argument from like Grayson. A lot of people felt that way, I think, too. Like the people who were like purists about Tsushima.
Yeah, he's just such an immersive guy when he plays his games. That
and the ironic thing for me is I think that's actually what kept me immersed and interested, was having to think. Like it is like I did put it down to easy difficulty and I still die. Like I feel that game's easy mode feels like every other game's normal mode.
They'll fuck you up.
And so it kept me immersed in the sense that I had to be thinking about that rock, paper, scissors thing. Like you have to use a katana against a katana. You have to use something that's going to break the enemy's shield, you know? And I think it's legitimately one of my favorite open world games I've ever played. Some of the best combat I've ever played in a game. The story, which I won't spoil it in case Aaron ever wants to play it or anybody listening ever plays it, but legitimately there's a reason why it won our oh shit moment of 2025. For you, and then mine was another game that we'll talk about later. But we spent the majority of our time with the oh shit moments talking about this, because like I said, it is a very basic samurai story, but the twists and turns happened frequently enough that it kept me engaged. And with somebody with ADHD and really hard time, like my memory is really bad, my attention span is really bad, it kept me consistently interested and hooked the whole way through, which is not something I can say about a lot of games like this.
Yeah, and like I always have like, you talk about like the Tiffy buff, like outside of the game stuff really makes games memorable for me.
Yes.
And like this is the game I was playing like in the first days of us having like Emmy at home. So like weirdly, as she grows up and I'm like playing video games with her and like thinking about her and video games, like Yotei is one of 3 or 4 games that this is the first one we're talking about now that I will think of with her as like, oh, these were the games I was playing like when you came into this world, and like I platinumed it with her on my lap and was like, oh, look at that, our first platinum together. I mean, look at that.
Emmy, how do you feel about feudal Japan?
Yeah. How do you like just absolutely mowing down these people and just like flicking your blade and watching the blood come out?
It was so satisfying.
She's a huge fan.
It never got old. Oh yeah, babies love gore. That's proven.
Oh yeah, big time.
So anyway, again, I'll end it just by saying thank you for pushing me to play this game. It is this year's Dragon Age: The Veilguard, and
I gotta come up with a good one for 2026 now.
Yeah, seriously,
gotta make it 3 in a row.
Oh yeah, the rule of threes.
Yeah.
All right, we are down to our top 3, ladies and gentlemen. Ben,
I think do we have other 4s?
Wait, do we have other 4s?
I don't know actually.
I thought I was.
No, I think that was your 4, right?
Yeah, that was my 4.
It was both of our 4.
Both of our 4, so we're done then. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Right,
okay.
perfect.
Yeah, I see why you're confused because we like skipped technically.
Yeah.
But all right. So Ben, what is your number 3?
Let's see if my number 3 comes up later. It's Clair Obscure Expedition 33.
It will come up later.
Yeah, much later.
Okay. Well, that's me.
Aaron, what is your number 3?
Now, let me put this chip down. My number 3 is Hollow Knight Silksong.
Ooh, I was curious if anybody of us played that. And I would have guessed it'd be you, Aaron.
Yeah, let's go. So I played a little bit of the original Hollow Knight. Got fairly far into it. Really enjoyed it. Fell off of it. I don't remember why. But just never finished it. Silksong came out. It was pretty cheap. I can't remember how much was it whenever it came out. Was it $20?
$20, and it was on Game Pass too, wasn't it?
Yeah. So whenever that happened, I was like, well, I am going to spend $20 and at least try this. The first couple of levels were just phenomenal. Like the way that the world was designed, the way that everything was like mapped out, you could just tell that like this group of people spent years making this game. Everything felt intentional. Everything felt very like not scripted, but felt very like it was meant to happen whenever it happened. Kind of what somebody was talking about earlier, where you would do jumps, or no, maybe it wasn't here. I was listening to another podcast and they were talking about like doing jumps and like trying to get to places that you're not supposed to get to, but like you can get to, but still feeling really good because you feel like you've got one over on the game. There were a lot of moments like that where you would just do things and you're like, oh, I don't know if I was supposed to do that, but I did that and it feels really good. And there was just a whole bunch of that through it. What was interesting about that game, it was tough, like really tough. So I like hard games, but I usually like hard games that are like fair. So I really like the Soul series because a lot of times those Souls games are designed so that way, even though you're facing a challenge, there's ways to navigate it and there's ways to like move forward, even if you really feel like you're stuck. And there were a couple moments in Silksong, especially at the beginning, where it just like really felt unfair. But you would get to a point where you really learned the boss. You would just fight it over and over and over again. You would really figure out its movement. And then you would finally like figure out, okay, I know that I can last at least this long, and I know that the boss goes nuclear at this point, and that I need to just kind of unload everything I have at this boss at this point. And if I die, I know that next time I just need to do it faster, essentially. Which was a little annoying at first. Definitely a lot of like hitting my head against the wall at times. But whenever you beat a boss, it just felt so good because you knew that not only did you beat that boss, but you just unlocked a new area that you were going to be able to explore, that you were going to be able to really just kind of like navigate and figure out all this cool stuff. And yeah, I don't know. It was a really great game. I got to a point with one of the bosses where I was so frustrated I uninstalled the game and I was like, I'm never playing this again. And then the next day installed it and then beat that boss on like my third attempt. Nice. And then ended up playing the game for another like 20 hours after that point. I finally put it down. I didn't actually end up beating it, but I got to a point where I just felt satisfied with it, where I was like, okay, I'm sure that if I fought this boss another 20 times, I'd finally be able to beat it. But I'm good. I had a great time with it. I fought some really memorable bosses, and I'm okay to just walk away from this right now. But I think, again, the thing that was just so cool about it is like you could tell that a group of people really spent a lot of time and a lot of love making this game, which I don't know, felt cool.
Yeah, it's honestly, I had never played Hollow Knight, and going into this, I had told myself I'm gonna play Silksong and give it a try. And then once people started talking about it, it was like people were like, I love really hard games like how you do. And I thought it was like frustrating and unfair. And I was like, oh, if they're saying that, then like,
yeah, dude.
There's no universe where I'm gonna enjoy that. Like I think it was on the Firescape cast where like Mary said something about there's a moment where like the benches are your safe point, and it's like if you find a bench, you know you're good. And it's like there's one bench that's not actually a bench.
It was a trap.
It's a trap that kills you. If that happened to me, I would never fucking play the game again.
So Alex, imagine too that like so that area that trap bench was in, like you go 30 minutes without a save point essentially at that point. By the time you get there,
oh my god,
like your health is probably so low that like you finally see that bench and you're like, oh my god, thank God I finally found this thing.
Let your guard down.
You let your guard down. And then, so like that happens the first time. So, the next time you show up there again, you're like, okay, well, I know that this bench is going to do that. I know that there has to be a way to like deactivate this trap in some way, right? Like the game has kind of taught you that if there's ever traps, there's ways to like go around like the back part of the level and like turn them off. So you get into this area where you can see how to turn off this trap. And it is like insane. Like there are like so many crazy jumps that you have to perform to like hit this string that's gonna let you use the bench. You finally get down there, you hit the string so that way like the bench is now safe, and then you have to get back up the wall to get over to the bench again.
It's like I love that for the people who like that's their shit. It's like to me that is just the most like this is a game made by sickos for sickos.
For sickos,
like, give me this shit all day. And I am just not a big like retread my ground, like lost progress type. Like I just even more so the difficulty. I would find that part more frustrating, the redoing stuff because checkpointing's intentionally long. All that stuff. But it looks the art awesome.
Oh, beautiful.
Feels like
music was great.
Controls like a dream. I bet. Like it looks like it would be awesome if it was my thing.
All right. Is that everything for Hollow Knight?
That's all I got.
Hollow Knight.
All right, Alex, what is your number 3?
My number 3, I'm assuming we're talking about it here, will be Pokemon Legends ZA.
Yeah, that did not make my list, and I don't think Aaron or Ben played it. So this is the Alex show right now, baby.
Oh man, I will be quick with it. If you guys remember 2022, that's what was my game of year in 2022. It Takes Two came second to Pokemon Legends Arceus, which the more time that passes, I think Arceus, I always say Sly 2 is my favorite game, like from my childhood. I think Arceus might actually be my favorite game of all time now. To the point where in preparation for this game and how hyped I was, I went back to Arceus this year, went like in a lull of no releases, and I perfected every Pokédex entry in that game. I played that game for 400 hours grinding a bunch of bullshit, just because I just love running around that world.
Insane.
Yeah, it was just like, wouldn't it be fun if I did this? And I did, and I was like, wow. And I haven't played it since I did that. But like, I was so excited for this game, and it felt like it was going to be. Once they announced another Legends, I was so excited. But then I was like, okay, what is a Legends game? Because Arceus was like this whole new thing, open world, like throwing the live Pokeballs, like very different from a traditional Pokemon game. So I was curious what would make the crossover to ZA as well. And some of it is still there. The way you run around the world, the way you catch Pokemon, stuff like that is still there. But this one had a much bigger emphasis on battling and like mega evolutions, which mega evolution is by far my favorite gimmick they've ever done in Pokemon. I don't think that's necessarily a hot take. I think that's pretty universal at this point. So the fact that they were coming back to that, and this was essentially Pokemon Z version that we never got from X and Y, with X and Y weirdly being the only games that never got a third version or DLC in some way. I think it was just because of I don't know if it was like the timing of when that came out being because Sun and Moon came out after that, also in the 3DS. So I actually have no idea why they never made a third version for X and Y. But Yeah, I thought the combat was really cool. The way they do battling in this, with you're kind of like free flowing, moving around, and like it's not turn based. It's your 4 moves have a cooldown on them now, and you can kind of dodge out of the way and like recall your Pokemon to help them dodge. Like the combat really worked for me in a game that was very heavy handed on the battling. Um, it feels like it's low on my list because Ghost of Yotei almost passed it for Arceus being like my favorite game ever, maybe for ZA to be at number 3. There's still some problems that I know, like it is inexcusable at this point, like how much fucking money the Pokemon Company and Nintendo have for these games to be as like frankly as ugly in certain ways as they are. But like the textures on the walls that doesn't bother me in these games. Like if I didn't see people crying about it online, like I wouldn't have even thought about it.
Yeah.
So I think there's a little bit much of that. But again, the fact that they have so much money is a bit inexcusable. But I enjoyed the game. I thought it was fun. The story is as okay as a Pokemon story could get. I thought it was way worse than Scarlet and Violet story, which I think is actually my favorite story in a Pokemon game.
Yeah, I played Violet.
Really
Sorry
good.
to interrupt. I played Violet for the first time last year because they finally put the Switch 2 version out. And I think sorry, I don't want to cut you off, but
No, you're good.
My thoughts are I played this for 15 hours and I fell off because of how much I liked Violet and how much of Violet I played last year. I think that Arceus is a much better game than Z to A. I would go back and play Arceus again, I think, before I'd play Z to A. But I also think playing 50 hours of Violet last year didn't do me any favors of being like, I'm burned out on Pokemon, I'm good to go. And Z to A did not move the needle for me. But I knew as soon as like Arceus like hit super hard for you, I was like, whatever this company does from here on out, Alex is gonna fucking love it.
Yeah, and I definitely like it worse. Like I liked the Pokédex focus of Arceus way more in the discoverability and the exploring, and like that game felt like how I felt as an 8-year-old daydreaming of being a Pokemon trainer. Like that's what I wanted to be when I grew up, was a Pokemon trainer. Like
the catching has always been my favorite aspect, and like being able to wander around and catch them freely for the first time like is a thing in this too, but it just didn't feel new the way it did in Arceus. And I also just thought the Pokemon in Arceus were a lot more interesting, like the selection, than it was in ZA. Like they do things, like they have their reasons for doing anything. Nintendo and Pokemon people have their reasons. I don't always agree with it. I kind of wish they'd given us like not new starters, but just different starters, I guess, than they gave us. The ones
I didn't like the
kind of a weird
3
choice.
they picked.
It's just such a weird choice. Like it's definitely not helping the haters that hate on the game. It's like, oh, you just keep giving us the same game over and over again. It's like, all right, fuckers, here's 3 starters we've already had before.
Yeah, it was. I definitely liked the trio in Arceus more than this one.
100%.
And I also I bought the DLC, which was crazy. They made DLC for this game 2 months after it came out.
Yeah.
And I like actively didn't like it. I powered through finishing the main story, but it has this mechanic of like you turn your berries into donuts, and the donuts allow you to go into these little dimensional holes that were like little mini levels with like certain Pokemon in them. But like depending on the donut, you'd only have so much time in these dimension areas. And I just had so many moments of like, oh, I can see on the little window, the preview window, there's a grayed out silhouette of a Pokemon I don't have. I need to go into this one to try to catch it. And I'd go in there and have like 6 minutes to run around and just wouldn't find it. And I'd be like, well, I just wasted that time.
Yeah.
So the DLC aside of where it would rank on this, it actively like made me like it less. Like I did not like the DLC, and I don't think it's worth it. But the base game, I did enjoy the battling. And again, played it with Tiff. That also helps.
Oh, yeah.
And was like playing through some of the DLC and stuff at 3 o'clock in the morning when I'm up late with Emmy when she's not sleeping in her bed or in her bassinet. So I have those like memories to think back on. But yeah, overall, a very solid game that I think they did the Legends series pretty well, but like they were following up like impossible expectations.
How do you follow up Arceus with people like you that fucking love it? It's very hard to follow that game up because they gave Pokemon fans what we've been asking for since we were kids, finally. And at the end of the day, speaking of kids, these are just kid games.
Yeah.
Ben, did you play Arceus?
I played Arceus. I liked Arceus. I played a lot of Arceus. Never finished it, but I liked it.
It's an all-time Pokemon game. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I never played like Violet
Violet now is the best.
Honestly.
Yeah, now's the time. I know. Well, you don't have a Switch 2, but if you ever, and I don't know
On
if
a
you'll ever
Switch
even
2
get one, but
specifically.
yeah, that's the way to play Violet because it completely. I did a 180 of my opinion on that game because of the
They
way
had
that's
to
the way
have-
it should have come out.
There's just no way that the Pokemon company themselves and Game Freak made that game, because I feel like the Switch 2 came out way later than they, like, leaks and reporters like felt like it was going to come out. Like, I feel like they thought that was going to be releasing on the Switch 2 and it wasn't, and they're like, oh god. And it just feels like a completely different game.
It's so weird because Nintendo's games are normally like you really don't see a lot of bugs or like, and they're always really polished because they take fucking forever to make them and stuff.
Not
and that
Pokemon.
was just, it's crazy, man. It's wild.
I wonder how much of that had to go with the fact that like the anime was ready to go and like the card game was ready to go, right?
Yeah.
Where they felt like they just had to push forward.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, the video games are the catalyst to the money making machine. Like the games sell, they all sell like 20 plus million copies, but like that's pennies compared to
the cards,
the merchandise, and then the cards. Yeah, like fucking, I think I saw a thing that like Pokemon is the highest grossing IP in the world, but I think just like plushes and like physical item merchandise would be enough to make it a top 5. Like it's crazy the train that is Pokemon, that the games just like everyone's like they need to take a year off, give them time. Like they literally cannot do that.
Yeah, they literally can't. So
they will never do that.
A little insight. I got real into Pokemon at the beginning of the year, like the card aspect of it. And like there was a while where like I would watch the website for like drops. And these drops would happen that would be like the plushies, and they would still sell out. Like it was crazy. So like what you're talking about there, right? Like just like the plushie alone is just like nuts, right? Like they're raking in all this money, and they can't just at any point say, hey, we need to stop and we really need to make sure this game is good before we put it out.
Yeah, like I honestly wish they would go back, let Game Freak make like an Octopath looking like 2.5D Pokemon game. Oh my god, that would be so amazing over like a buggy, shitty 3D open world game. Like Violet, it was a lot better, so I'm feeling better about Gen 10 than I was in 2023 when Scarlet and Violet came out. Like I think the Switch 2 can at least handle it a little bit better, but I just feel like Game Freak as a company, for whatever reason, they just can't get Pokemon up with the times in certain ways. But yeah, it'll be interesting. Pokemon Day in a couple weeks should. I mean, it's 30th anniversary of Pokemon. They will announce what Gen 10 is and probably just show, the 3 starters, what they look like, their names, and like a little sizzle reel of like shots of the environment and stuff. Maybe another Pokemon or two.
I would love to see some of the old ones on the Switch Online or something too, because they could easily.
They just don't want money, I guess.
I guess it's like, well, okay. Here's the thing: they have Switch Online, like where they're just slowly drip feeding these classic games, and they'll just put the most random bullshit on there that you've never heard of.
Yep.
If they would put even just one of those Game Boy Advance Pokemon games on there, the number of Switch Online subscribers, like it'd be an unprecedented increase. And
I'd be so mad that they'd block it behind that. But like if they had, like you said, they have Game Boy and Game Boy Advance.
Yeah.
Why are the first 3 gens base games?
And they could release them in a collection too, and it would be fucking $80 like all their games are now. But it would have like all the original Pokemon games, or at least like a handful of them, and people would buy it because they've been clamoring for it for so long.
Yeah. It's very important to them that you buy it third party, so they can't get any of the money, and that you have to pay over $100 for it.
It's crazy. Yeah, like I can't go fucking buy them on the 3DS store anymore. You shut that down. Like luckily I have them. Red, blue, yellow, silver, gold, crystal. I did buy on my 3DS before they shut it all down, so I technically have them on there.
Nice.
But God.
Yeah, I'm glad that Delta emulator came out for iPhone last year. It was either last year or the year before. That's how, whenever I feel like playing Pokemon, that's the easiest way for me to play them. But
absolutely.
Thanks for coming to our Pokemon TED Talk, everybody.
Oh, yeah.
So is it my number 3 now? I think that's where we're at.
I believe so.
So I know you guys didn't play this game. I won't harp on it too long, but my number 3 is Avowed. If my number 1 and number 2 games hadn't come out, then this would have been my game of the year. I think in some ways I've kind of accepted this is this year's Starfield for me. This game wasn't as hated as Starfield was, but I think I liked it way more than the average person did. A
It
lot
came
of
out early, right? Like
yeah, and it came out
February.
like in January,
Got that
February, and it
about it.
really hurt my heart to see how it got forgotten. By the time we got to Game of the
Mhm.
Year stuff with all the outlets that we follow, it did get brought up like an honorable mention, but nobody put it in like their top 10 or anything. And it was just one of those games that just fell to the trap of time. It's like people really enjoyed it when it came out and were like, "Hey, I have Game Pass. I'm really glad I played this." And then they just never talked about it when it came to the end of the year. Um, you guys know me. These games are extremely my shit. The only thing I will say is that Obsidian's games never really clicked with me. Like Fallout New Vegas is my least favorite Fallout that I've ever played. I just don't like the way that game feels to play, and I think it's a lot harder than Fallout 3 and 4. This is the first Obsidian game I think I've played that I can say I actually love. Like I really love this game. They do a lot of really smart things to streamline that style of game. One of the biggest ones that's stuck in my mind is how like in Elder Scrolls and games like that, you can like there's like the stealing mechanic, right? And anybody who's played those games knows that like when you accidentally steal something off a table you didn't mean to pick up, just because that's how the game works, you get a bounty, you have to go to jail or pay the bounty. This game expedites all that, and there's no stealing mechanic, which I know some people didn't like, but anything that's on the ground or on tables or anywhere, you can just pick it up and you don't have to worry about being in the wrong for stealing it. So it made these little quality of life changes to a type of game that I already really love, and the fast traveling was improved over other games, really quick and snappy. The story was really like nothing super to write home about, but it was interesting enough. It was like if you saw the like key art for the game, like you saw the kind of like Last of Us, like the shroomy growth stuff, and like that kind of stuff. It was like people being infected with that, and you have to figure out that. And it's very much the Bethesda style type game of like, you meet all these different factions and you have to choose which one ultimately you want to side with. You can make them fight each other. It's a very good one of those. And like I said, it's the first Obsidian game that actually very much clicked with me. And I'm very glad I played it. Really satisfying combat, having a spell in one hand and a sword in the other. That was the way I love to play it. And that's how I'm currently playing Tainted Grail, The Fall of Avalon as well. It's the combat's reminding me a lot of Avowed in the best ways with that. So shout out to Randy for recommending me that game. And he's playing it now too, finally. And that game's a lot of fun. But yeah, I think that's all I have to say about Avowed. Like I said, if my number 2 and number 1 games hadn't come out, Avowed probably would have been my game of the year. And I felt it was important to talk about it because nobody else talked about it. And again, it feels like this year's Starfield for me because I think I liked it a lot more than most people did. But I don't think anybody actively like hated Avowed in the way that people like hated Starfield. So,
Hey Ben,
What's up, buddy?
you're my Tainted Grail.
Thanks, man.
Aw.
Ben, what is your number 2?
My number 2 is Ball Pit.
All right, we're gonna talk about that a little later.
Or Ball.
All right, Aaron, what is your number 2?
All right, my number 2 is Hades 2.
Hey, there it is.
I'm gonna take a bathroom
Here,
break
one
real quick. You guys go ahead.
Well, speaking of bathroom break, I just farted. It's bad. Hades 2. Did you guys play Hades 1?
I did, and I fucking loved Hades 1. I
Yeah,
put
then
like
you'd like
100 hours
Hades
in it.
2.
I did. I just started playing. I'm like 20 hours in.
Oh, nice.
I've got to Chronos once. That's where I'm
Okay.
at.
Yeah. I will tell you, like, endgame wise, it definitely, I don't know how to say it without spoil. It gets very repetitive, but
Okay.
really, really cool. I thought the ending was bad.
I've heard that.
Which I think they actually went in. I'm pretty sure they fixed it. I'm pretty sure like they actually went in after release and was like, yeah, this wasn't great. And then they like updated a couple things that apparently made it a little bit better. But yeah, I don't know. It was fun to play. It was I like the bosses. I thought the bosses were really well done. The mechanics were cool. I liked that. Usually in these types of games, I usually pick one weapon and I stick with that weapon and I don't do anything else. But I really liked how there were perks for switching the weapons. Like every time you end up back in like that home base, and you go to like get ready to do another run, there will be a weapon that's highlighted, and if you get that weapon, you just get extra perks with it.
Yeah.
I thought that was really smart and a really like good way to like get me to switch up. I ended up falling in love with a weapon that I doubt I would have even touched had it not done that.
What's your favorite? I think I have all but the last one unlocked at this point.
So my favorite was the staffs, or not the staffs, the like torches.
Okay, yeah. I don't think I've used those yet, but I've unlocked them.
Yeah, so I usually when I play those games, I'm more of like a sword person. So whenever I like unlocked them, I'm like, well, I'm never going to use this. And then I was getting ready to do a run that was highlighted, and I don't know what it was about it, but like I just loved the ability to just be able to like strafe and like fire with it, and like the
Mhm.
way that I could just like do some cool. I think really I could build some really neat builds with it, with the different sort of like boons.
Yeah.
And I just thought that like I got to a point where I'm like, oh, this plays really well with this weapon. And especially like end game wise, that's I kind of just stuck to that just because I liked it so much. But I mean, I did think that was cool because, like I said, usually a game like that, I stick to a sword and that's it. And I liked how it really pushed you to like try new things.
Mhm.
It definitely, is the sequel curse a little bit, just in the sense that like it's the same game in a way.
Right.
But I thought it did enough like new, interesting stuff that kind of just kept it fresh. And I think the thing with those games, I have a really hard time with the roguelikes, just because I don't like resetting my progress every single time.
For sure.
But I thought it really did some cool stuff with like the concoction stuff where it would like give you certain perks or give you certain items. I thought that was like really well done to like keep somebody like me who doesn't necessarily like those types of games to just keep coming back.
Yeah, persistent progress is like a must for me in games like this, and they just drip feed it to you just well enough that like
Yeah.
you'll in a run you'll talk to an NPC that sparks them showing up at the crossroads, and that leads to something else. Like, oh, you picked a boon from like Apollo, and that led to this, and now all of a sudden this more dialogue, and they like drip feed the character stories that way. Yeah, I think still at this point, only 20 hours in, I still like the first Hades more. I think because as a whole, I like the weapons better in that game, because it
Yeah.
really threw me off at first in this one, like being more like a ranged combat person, and like the charge abilities took
Yeah.
me a while to get used to, because I would just like click and hold those buttons, and like I would get hit every time I tried to use them. And it was just like it's because I'm still in the brain of like, oh, I'm not like, I shouldn't be as much in melee as I am. Like I need to keep my distance, move around a little bit better. And it's like Melanoy is like a different character than Zagreus was. And
Yeah.
like I feel like my play style has adjusted to that a little bit, to where I'm doing a little bit better in each run. I really like the skull so far. That has been like blowing my mind how
Yeah.
much I like that one. That's the one I got to Kronos on, and like my best run by far. But yeah, I played Hades a lot. I finished the story of Hades. Like I think you have to kill, like win a run like 10 times or whatever to unlock the full story of that, and then it's just like the end game with like the different, stacking levels of hell or whatever.
Yeah.
I didn't do a whole lot beyond that, but I've heard
That's around
that.
where I stopped too.
Yeah, like I don't think I'll play much of this beyond like finishing whatever the story is. And yeah, I've heard that it's not a great story compared to Hades 1. But I am liking the systems they have in place of the different resources, and it would be very easy for it to be like too much. Like, oh, you have your ashes that upgrade your Arcana cards, which you can get those by getting the Psyche or Psych or whatever that resource is. That updates how many points you could put into that. But like very quickly, like the little panels they have on the side that explains you get this from
Yeah.
this is used from that. Like they actually do explain it really well, and they drip feed it in a way where it doesn't feel overwhelming.
Yeah. Yeah. I think there's a very different Hades 2 that could have existed where they just kind of threw all of that at you at the beginning, and it would have just been like, nope, I'm done with this.
Yeah, it's like that felt like they QA'd the shit out of this to know, okay, this is the proper amount of time. And like, I don't know if you played it all in early access, but I had no interest in that. I was like, I want to play 1.0 when it's ready.
No, I'm a 1.0. I don't do early access.
Yeah. Yeah, I really liked it a lot. It's a fun action game. Like I said, not quite as good as Hades 1 in my opinion, but it's really good. And like I said, I've only played 20 hours and barely cracked the surface of it, and it was enough to get into my top 10. So it's a great game.
What was fun for me, I ended up going back and playing Hades 1 again after, and I had a really hard time like going back and playing Hades 1.
Really, I could see that.
Yeah, where I was just like, it strangely feels different to play that game. And it was really weird to like jump back into it because it feels so much like the same game, at least aesthetically. And then just like certain things with the systems that I was like, oh, I'll just be able to go back and do a run in the first game easy.
And
I couldn't. I was like, this is crazy.
All All right. Yeah, I need to play more of it. I got it in early access on the Steam Deck. It wasn't running super great on the Steam Deck like during launch week, and I was having a hard time, like, because my eyes are bad. I was having a hard time keeping up with that game handheld, even though I know it is
Well,
technically,
that'd be rough.
a lot of people
Yeah.
consider it to be a perfect handheld game as far as like the way it plays and the style it is. But I just was having a hard time seeing stuff, and so I always said like, I'm going to get a Steam Deck dock someday. I'm going to wait till this game hits 1.0. And then it was a nice little surprise. It's like, oh, I don't have to buy this game now the week that everybody's buying it. I already bought it back in early access. So I was like, oh, it's 1.0. I get to just try it. So I threw it up on the TV with this janky Steam Deck dock that I got on Amazon, and it just was not working out for me. And there was just a little bit too much like input lag with it and everything. So I got the official Steam Deck dock, and it removed a lot of that latency. So I think that's the way I'm going to play it,
Nice.
is with the Xbox controller hooked up to the Steam Deck and have it docked on the TV. So there's another game we'll talk about later as far as roguelikes go. The only one that's ever truly like besides this that I've loved is Dead Cells. And Hades is like just a step below Dead Cells for me. Like, I feel like I could really love it, but there's just something keeping me from really, really loving it in that way. Dead Cells was the first one that really clicked for me. I don't know if my opinion of that game would change now if I went back and tried to play it again, but in that moment, that year that I played it, it was very high on my list, and I loved that game. And Hades is definitely like top 5 roguelikes for me for sure. I just am bad at it. And again, it's what Aaron said, the roguelike loop of like you fight the same bosses over and over again and stuff. And I do like the through line of progression. Like I could already tell with Hades too, like they give you one of those, like, I don't know what the fuck they're called, those artifacts or whatever they give you that you can equip, the one that like gives you health in between like levels now. And I felt for somebody like me who's bad at the game, I was like, oh, that's like a literal game changer. That's nice to have for sure. So I'll definitely play more this year. That, and who knows, that could end up on my list of non 2026 games that I played whenever we do the Swirly Awards.
For sure.
Okay, so where are we at now? We're Alex now for number.
I think it's by number 2.
Number 2.
Okay. I'm assuming this is Aaron's number 1. I think we'll be talking about this one later, but Expedition 33.
So it is my number 1. Do you guys mind if we go ahead and talk about it, and then I'm gonna jump off because I'm sure I'm gonna be awake at about 5:30 because that's what time my daughter likes to wake up.
Yeah, you guys go ahead.
Yeah, go.
All right, let's do it. Alex,
Oh yeah,
take it away.
The thing I like talking about with Expedition 33 the most is, I'm pretty sure we did this last year. If you go back, I want to do it at the very end of this as well. At the end of last year, I asked you guys, what 2025 games are you looking forward to the most? And I remember talking about Expedition 33 after seeing the trailer when it got announced. And I was like, this game looks so fucking cool. I want to know what this is about. And then it became the biggest fucking game on the planet. And I can't fucking believe how popular this game got. Oh my God.
I agree. Like, I remember seeing it in one of the showcases and thinking, man, this game looks cool. Like, this looks right up my alley. And then finding out, like, well, it's made by this small studio, and it's not like a AAA game, and it's open world, but it's only going to be like 30 something hours. Where I was still like, okay, like I'm going to give this thing a chance. I can't wait to see it. So go ahead. Jeff.
It's such a cool premise for a game. They live in this world where there's this giant monolithic woman out in the distance at sea called the Paintress, who every year paints a new number, counting down from 100. And if you are the age of that number, you just get gommaged, it's called. Burst into a bunch of flowers and you are just dead. And then every year, an expedition goes out to try to kill this Paintress. And this game follows that Expedition 33. And oh my goodness, this game has so much going for it that, like, I love that it was a shorter game for one. Like, this is the type of game that back in the day would have been 200 fucking hours. You would have been grinding your ass off for no reason, just for the sake of doing it. It was like 40, 50 hours to beat. The voice acting is maybe the best of all time from like an entire cast, I would say.
Which again, like, it not being a AAA studio is like, how in the world did this happen?
It's just insane. Like, the combat of it with the parrying system, like, felt very, that's not necessarily new in a turn-based RPG. Shout out to Super Mario RPG back in the day. But they just do it in a way that's it's just so immensely satisfying as a mechanic, and it just looks so cool. The art is like, we've talked a lot about how I'm not a huge fan of like the Souls games, but like the art department in this game of like what the creatures, how fucked up they look, felt like it was out of a Souls game. And that's like the highest praise I feel like you can give a game, because those, the Elden Rings, the Dark Souls, they have the coolest looking monsters and creatures in video games, I think. And this game is right up there with them, like fucked up, French inspired, like artistic, like steampunk, like so many different things going on at once in this game that it's just fucking incredible. And the moment at the end of Act 1
Oh man,
blew my fucking
you-
mind.
Yeah.
Like I just can't. Josh and I talked about it during the Swirly Awards. That was my oh shit moment of the year, of just, you know, you can run around as whoever you want, but like Gustav, aka Charlie Cox, is the main character at this point.
Yeah.
And he just gets absolutely fucking murked by Andy Serkis. And he's just like dead for real. And it's like,
Well, and that's like, so when that part happened, I was like, oh, this is going to be like a time travel game and we're just going to see him again. And then that just never happens.
nope, they're like for real.
That's
And
funny
what's
you
great-
thought that. That's really interesting.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you this is on your list too, right, Ben?
Yeah, that's my number 3. So
Oh my god, yeah, we all fucking like, I get why this thing swept the Game Awards. And like it's funny because in Gustav's like talent tree or whatever, before that moment, there's a whole bunch of them that are like marked off as like question
just-
marks, which like
Yeah.
games do that, where it's like, oh, I'll unlock, like maybe, you know, he'll get a new ability that's like will open up this section. Like I didn't think anything about that at all. And then yeah, Ben Starr's character Verso just like steps right in. He uses the same equipment. It's like, wow. I feel like I keep going, so somebody else chime in with something they like.
Well,
about it.
so like even with that, right? Like I'll go back to what I thought where it was going to be like this time travel story, because you have this tree and you're like have all these things that you don't have, and he dies and it's like, oh, okay, he's just gonna come back and you're gonna have all this stuff unlocked, and then you just get a brand new character and then just like it's like, okay, I'm just gonna use the stuff. And I was
Yeah.
like, what?
I liked playing as more, honestly. I loved Verso's
No,
abilities
agreed,
a lot
yeah.
more.
The beach scene at the beginning of that game, like coming off of where the Gomage happens, like
Mhm.
it was just, the beginning of that game is so like sweet in a way, like it shows death in such a sweet, like accepting sort of way, and then all of a sudden they're on a boat and then they just get slaughtered.
Right, and it just makes you think like this has been happening every 60, like
Yeah.
one day a year every 67 years. They've been building up to like one of us will get there, and it's like they've all just been getting fucking slaughtered immediately. Like upon
Yeah.
getting there, minus like a handful of people. with
well,
the
that's
Zergers
interesting
survive.
because like some of them haven't been slaughtered because you get to see like their progress throughout the world.
Yeah,
As like someone who's not like a huge fantasy guy, or like even like like a genre guy, that's one of the things I really loved about this game is just how unique the world was. I think it's really cool. Like
hmm
I'm playing through Octopath Traveler 2 right now, and it's like very bog standard like fantasy world type kingdoms type stuff. There's
Yeah.
nothing like that in this game,
hmm
Right.
And
It's
like
very unique.
yeah, it's super unique. And like one of the things like that gets brought up, and it doesn't really bother me as much because I don't think it's completely true, but a lot of games that have like really interesting stories as far as RPGs go, like a lot of them star like children like as their
Yeah.
main protagonist, and these people are not children. They're like clearly, like one of them is a child obviously, but like the rest of them are not children, and like they clearly have like adult thoughts and like feelings about life, like adult responsibilities and and like interesting things that go along with the world. And I think that's just really interesting. Now
Yeah.
I will say, just to help me out, I haven't beaten it yet. I've heard a little bit of the spoilery stuff, but
Ooh, okay,
I mean, if you guys can avoid it a little bit, that would be nice.
for sure.
Because
How
I
far?
want to
How
beat
far
it.
are you?
So I got
to-
to the island of the paintress, and I'm kind of working my way towards her. So
Okay, so
think
you're still
Aaron
like
told me
Oh,
it's like
end
man.
of Act 2.
end of Act 2, yeah.
Oh yeah, you're in
yeah.
for it, buddy. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's okay.
And I know it gets
Um,
like a little bit weird, like as far as like how it all like kind of comes
let's-
together, like the
let's
little bit
talk
that I've
about
heard
that,
about it.
mhm.
I think I could talk
Yeah.
about that without spoiling it.
Okay.
So when Act 2 ends, I was like in a place where I was like, I don't know if I like this. Like I just like
Yeah.
the
Mm.
way that the story beats happen. it was one of those things where like at first I was like, well, I don't see how this makes any sense in this world.
Yeah.
And then like at that point I stopped playing it for the night, and it was all I thought about for like the next 2 days before I could actually pick it up again and keep
That's
playing
good to
it.
hear, because like the
Yeah.
little
And-
bit I've heard of it made me think like, oh man, I kind of don't want to finish this now, because I don't think I like just like the little hints that people
Yeah.
have been giving about where it goes.
Yeah,
So that's good.
and
Like I'm excited
I-
to hear that, because
I really was
I was
just like
truly worried about it.
when that ended and I put the controller down for the night, I was like, I am gonna beat this game, but I'm not happy about what just happened. And by the time I picked that controller back up, I was like, no, that actually makes so much sense in this world. Like, I finally can see like where these pieces connect in my mind without
Yeah,
even playing
that's
the
cool.
game, right? And then jumping back in and just, I don't know, some of the end game stuff, I will say, like Act 3, I thought was kind of unbalanced in some ways.
Yes. Yeah.
Like it really like points you in one direction, but like you can go anywhere. And if you start going anywhere, you just get slaughtered. Unless you like go to a very specific area first. But I don't know. There was so much to love about that game. And I think something too, like for me, that really moved me, the music in that game was just phenomenal.
It's like top tier, man. It's
Yeah, like I've enjoyed
unbelievably good.
yeah, I've enjoyed video game music before, but like nothing like this. Like this was probably one of my favorite albums of last year. And like it topped everything that I heard. So I think for me, right, like I didn't play this game whenever it came out. So I bought it day one, but I never played it. I just
Right.
was busy with other things. I knew that whenever I played it, I was going to fall into it and really like it. And I just kind of wanted to find the perfect time.
Yeah.
And it got to the point of the Video Game Awards. And the opening of the Video Game Awards was them playing a song from that game. Excuse me. And I was just like, I got to play this game tomorrow. Like, I got to
You
pick
played
this
this
game up.
very
Like,
recently then. Holy
Yeah,
shit,
he's
that's
played it. Yeah.
I mean, it was
wow.
mid-December, right? Like,
Holy shit, yeah.
and it wasn't until after the Video Game Awards that I picked it up and finally played it. And part of the reason that I did was because of that song in the Video Game Awards, where I was just like, oh my God, that is
It's so like beautifully
incredible.
haunting, and like it just really embodies so much of what the game is. And like,
yeah,
to piggyback on like what you're about to see, Ben, without spoiling a lot of it, is I feel like a lot of moments throughout the game makes you think back to the whole rest of the game and just recontextualizes all of it
That's
in a
cool.
lot of different
That's
ways. And it really just like makes you think. And yeah, the very, very ending I feel like was controversial, but I ended up liking it. And I was happy with like what I did and all that good stuff. And it's incredible, man. Like I even like the nitty gritty of the combat. Like, who was your guys' like go-to party? Because I feel like a lot of people were like, oh, this character was so good. Like Mayel's busted for everybody, but like some people were like, oh, like I loved using Lune, like she was my best, and other people were like, oh, I never even used her for like a second once I got other characters. Like, who was your guys' go-to?
So my go-to was Lune. I'm blanking on her name. The one with the scythe.
CL.
Yeah, CL. And Mayel. Like that, I got to a point, which is funny. Like I've watched videos online of like broken builds and how people played that game, which was the exact opposite of how I played it. Like I found another way to kind of break that game that I liked a lot more, which always worked like consistently for me, especially in that like end game piece. But it also was so interesting to me to see like how other people like played it, right? And how other people kind of figured out like this is how I want to, or this is how I play this game.
Yeah, mine was Lune, Verso, Mayel. And honestly, Verso was who I had the most busted. Like Mayel's, you could, go into Virtuoso stance.
Yeah.
She's going to do a big hit. But I never even got into the like super buff Mayel. She'll just like one-shot stuff. I just had Verso to the point where all of his Pictos were based on just basic attacks, giving me more whatever, like the little pips of like energy or stamina or whatever, to where Verso would just do like 20 things on his turn. Like I would just keep getting stamina back to where I would just like hit things a million times for like pretty good damage versus just like one giant hit with Mayel.
Oh, that's
and it was
cool.
just, it was just, I just leaned fully into the basic attack stuff, and it was really, really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
think I
I
had the same setup as you. I think I was mostly Lune, because she's like the black hair girl, like the black hair woman, right?
Yeah, she's like the
She's the
mage
yeah.
with all the
mage,
spells and
right?
the
Yeah, yeah,
things.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It was Lune, Mael, and then Verso. Like that was kind of just my go-to. And then I had Minoko and the CL on the like secondary team, which I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, even that, like your party dies and the reinforcements come in. I'm sure that's
Yeah.
not like a brand new
Yeah.
idea, but that was fun to be like, oh, I think one of the major boss fights I won that way with like, oh god, I haven't played as them in forever. Like, how are they gonna
Yeah.
do? And they like
Yeah.
they were able to find the last like 20%
they're
of
always
boss
like,
health.
and they're always like a little bit like behind level wise because you're not using them.
Yeah, like their shit's not optimized. I'm like, oh god, you still have that old Pictos I never took off. Like, oh great. Oh man.
So the
Shout out to
last thing,
Dumbass Me. I was gonna say the only thing I would forget that I would have the Pictos on where like if they were healed, they would basically instantly die.
oh yeah,
It's like you would do crazy damage, but if you ever got healed, like you just couldn't be healed or something. And
yeah.
I would forget that I would have that on all the time, and I would just kill my party members at least 5 times in that game, like in boss fights. I'd be like, well, all right, let's run this one back.
The last thing I'll say, I spent a lot of time this year actually playing older games. So I went back and played Chrono Trigger for the first time ever. I went back and played the Golden Sun games, which I always enjoyed whenever I was a kid. I decided this year I was going to replay Bloodborne and I was going to play the DLC for the first time. So for literally the entire year until Clair Obscur, like for my actual like rankings for everything I played throughout the year, Bloodborne was at the top because Bloodborne is like probably one of my top 3 favorite games.
Mhm.
And literally played Clair Obscur, beat it, and I'm like, oh my god, this is maybe my favorite game of all time. And ended up putting it above Bloodborne for like my final ranking for the year,
That's awesome.
which I would have never thought that would have happened, right? Like,
Yeah,
especially again, like this game coming out of nowhere from the studio where like they have talented people and you can tell like in interviews that they're super passionate about this game, but like
Mhm.
who had any idea that they were going to put this out and it was going to be this good?
Oh man, it's the game I can't wait to replay in like a year or two because like
Yeah,
I beat
agreed.
it. I didn't go super crazy on it because this game came out right when we got our new puppy, and I was so distracted by that because getting him like house trained and sleeping with him at night was awful with his like yelling and stuff and in the crate. I felt like I couldn't like fully lock into it. That the next time I play it will be when I like 100% it. And even without doing that, I was like, oh yeah, this is one of the best games I've ever played.
Yeah.
It fucking rules.
Ben, you going to go back and beat it?
I don't know. The hard thing with that is, and I mentioned this earlier.
Yeah, you've told
I
me.
play, yeah. Well, I mentioned it on the cast too. Is that a good chunk of games I played this year was on Game Pass, and this game came out day one on Game Pass. That's
Mhm.
probably the main reason I actually played this game is because I already had the subscription, so I didn't have to pay full price for the game.
Yep. Oh, is it gone already?
It's not gone.
Okay.
If people don't know, like there is a boycott, defund, and
Oh
sanction
yes. Yes.
movement tied to kind of the ongoing genocide in Palestine that targeted Xbox games this year. And as part of that, and I was a little late to the party on that, but I decided to cancel my Game Pass subscription. And with that, there goes my Clair Obscur save.
Right.
And so that's tough because I would have to, one, purchase it, and then two, play it from the beginning again, which I don't think honestly would be that big of a deal because, like you guys mentioned, it's a shorter game. Like it's a shorter RPG, but
Mhm.
it is kind of just that is the obstacle right now that's in my way to go back and finish it. I think eventually, like someday, will I go back and finish it? Absolutely. Like there's no way I don't want to, especially if it ever goes on sale. I wouldn't. I would love to go back and pick it up. I think it would be
Yeah.
a pretty good like Steam Deck game, probably even like play it on mobile
sure.
or just kind of sit there and play it, especially to catch back up to where I was at.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
That's
that's
cool.
kind of where I'm at with it.
Do you have a PS5, Ben?
I do not.
I was gonna say if you did, I have that physical. I'll mail that shit to your house. I
Oh.
got you, buddy. Yeah, it's
No.
respect for doing that because that's
But yeah.
backing it up. I love that.
Yeah, and like I love the game. I thought the game was amazing. That's why it was at my number 3. I think for someone who's not a narrative game guy, I think the story in it is really impactful. I think it also has that like weird mystery at the middle of like there's characters in that game where you're just like I don't know who these people are and what they're supposed to be doing.
Who are
like,
you? What are you doing here? Yeah.
And it's just like, and it's also like, oh, there's like this weird monkey man character who's just kind of a pervert and also like has really weird game mechanics, like almost like Pokemon-esque. And
Alex, did you figure out like I don't remember if it was like a side thing or not. Did you figure out who he was?
Oh yeah,
Minoko? Wait. Don't,
right.
Don't tell it. Don't say it. But
yes.
Okay, got it. Okay. Because I thought that was super cool.
Yes, I love that. And what's funny is I thought who that was could have been somebody else.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, it's him. Okay. It's very good. God.
Yeah.
I can't wait for you to. Yes.
Yeah, I do want to go back and finish it. Maybe not this year. Who knows, when I'll go back and be able to actually finish it. But yeah, I would love to go back, finish that game. It's just, especially for a game that's really not up my alley at all, right?
Yeah.
Not a huge
Ben
RPG
doesn't believe
guy.
about stories in
I
games.
don't think, mostly I think games are a bad place to tell stories in. That's something to talk about some other time. But yeah, I mean, if you look at my top 10 lists from the last times we've done this, I've hardly ever put a story game very high. And even from this year, I think this is like the one game that really has a major story in it.
Right.
That's on my list, right? Like Baby Steps has a story, but it's not a narrative necessarily. I guess that would be one too, but it's not trying to tell a sweeping story. It's more gameplay tells the themes that they want to get across for the most part.
I actually think you played it at the perfect time of year, Aaron. I think when I go back and play it again, this is a great Christmas break game.
Yeah.
In between releases, around the holidays, just sink your teeth into a beefy RPG that's not 100 hours. Like, you could knock this out in like a week off of work if you're really like getting into it. Like, it's perfect for that.
Yeah.
God, what a game.
All right, guys. I think I'm jumping out.
All right.
Hey, buddy.
Thanks for stopping by.
Right.
Appreciate you being here.
It's good talking to you guys.
Yep.
Games.
Lovely
Talk to you later.
Bye, buddy. All right. Well, where are we at now?
I think it's your number 2.
My number 2? Okay. So this is, I'm not going to spoil anything about this game because Alex, you and I have already talked about you playing it. So you haven't played it and Ben hasn't played it. So I won't harp on it for too long. But my number 2 is Dispatch.
Yes.
So it is from the Critical Role people, which I'm not a big D&D guy, so I've never really followed Critical Role. But it is a Telltale style game without the clunky part that's always in Telltale games of you actually physically moving the character around. You're just watching.
Like almost.
What's up, Ben?
Go ahead. No, sorry. It is like that Telltale game, but it seems is it more intense than that?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's intense in terms of like, I mean, I guess like if you, Alex, you love the Walking Dead Telltale games, those could get pretty intense, but as far as the story goes, I would say, the thing that keeps me out of like playing like the Telltale or like the Life is Strange or those games sometimes is I don't like the clunky part of like, this game wasn't supposed to really have a character moving in it and they just added it in as like,
it is the worst part
kind of. So as much as I love Life is Strange, like I just don't like limbering around, like bumping into stuff, looking for a very specific thing. This takes all of that away, and it's just like you're watching a movie basically and like interacting with it and making the choices. So I'll very basics of story because Alex is going to actually play this over on his Swirly Streams Twitch channel at some point. And
I'm excited for that.
If you're interested in this game at all, don't look up anything about the story. Play it for yourself because the story is the thing with this. So besides doing the interacting with the cutscenes and making the choices, the core gameplay mechanic is, as in the name Dispatch, you play as Robert Robertson. He's kind of like a burnt out has-been superhero, and he gets put in charge of a company that dispatches superheroes out to different crimes. And they're actually reformed villains turned superheroes. So you're kind of like trying to band together this group of like misfits and like dipshits in some cases and badasses in others. And so like a lot of the story revolves around you coming to terms with the fact that like you're kind of washed up and some of these people are way better off than you as far as superheroes go. And now you're the person who puts on the headset and you're dispatching them. So the gameplay mechanic is you're in front of a computer screen. All of the characters that you can assign are at the bottom. They're having a conversation the whole time while that's going on. And then all of a sudden an exclamation point will pop up and it'll say, oh, there's a fire here. We need somebody sent over here to like rescue this dog and this woman out of this apartment that's on fire. So you kind of have to know the characters a little bit going into it, but they do give you enough time to figure out who you're going to assign. So it's like, I want to send, eventually it's like, at first it's like you only send one or two of them, but then eventually it's like, oh, you might send as many as 3 or 4 out at one time. So all of your characters have stats. So it's like, you think about it rationally, you're like, I need somebody who's going to be quick, right? So you would assign one of your superheroes who has like swiftness, you know, and that's like the core gameplay mechanic. And the thing I like about it is that there's not really a fail state to it. Like I went in the settings and I adjusted some of the like accessibility stuff to make it like, cause there's a hacking mini game as well that like isn't super great. So I kind of turned off like the fail state for that. The game can be stressful to play if you don't turn that stuff off, because the hacking is like you only have a chance or two to do it before you fail, and then it's like failing like a skill check in D&D, you know. And then like you kind of have to come to terms with the fact that like, oh, I can't respond with a hero to every single situation, so sometimes you just have to like prioritize some over the others. But anyway, like I said, I won't go on too long. The story is what got me here. It's been probably since the Last of Us games that like a game story has like gotten me to tear up, and this one did it several times. It is 8 episodes long. It does not take that long to get through it. I think every episode wasn't even an hour long. But it comes up at the end and it tells you, it does like the Telltale thing where it tells you how other people made their choices, like what the percents were and stuff. So that's always fun.
That was my favorite part of those. Like how wild is what I did.
Yeah, exactly. And there was a couple times where I was really low in the percent thing. So I'm gonna have a ton of fun watching you play this on your Twitch channel, because I know you're gonna pick some stuff very differently than I do. But my oh shit moment on the Swirly Awards was from Dispatch, and it's 2 words. It's keep up. And if you've played Dispatch, you know what keep up means. If you haven't played it, you're like, what the fuck are you talking about, Josh? Why does that matter? What's that all about? You know, what do they do to us? So
like he's drifting into
I'm drifting into Tim voice. So anyway, I absolutely adored this game. There's only one game this year I'd place above it, and that would be my game of the year. But I think it was my favorite story this year. It's a damn shame that we're going to be waiting probably at least a couple more years for a new one of these games. Because they're actually making a Critical Role game. I think they were working on that already and then made this. It'd be really cool, because this game did fucking gangbusters for them, and I don't think they were expecting that. So I kind of hope it like pushes them to put another one out quickly, because I'm
higher up a little bit.
I'm insanely invested in these characters in the way that I've gotten about TV shows, you know, like episodic TV show stuff. So cannot recommend it highly enough. Alex, you're gonna love it. Like you're gonna absolutely love it, because I know you love Telltale and Life is Strange and stuff like that as much as I do.
I love those like choose your own adventure style games in this way. And yeah, you're right that if it takes out the walk around this open area and like investigate some items, like that is by far the worst part, that just grinds those games. And
it takes me out of it too, even though like I know that's not their intention. They want to put you in that character's shoes to walk around and feel like you're in it. That takes me out of it more than anything, because more often than not, you're like, it's like slow, clumsy walking and stuff. So this really just like, it hooked me from the first couple minutes, and I beat it over the course of like a couple days in a week. And I just, cannot recommend it highly enough. One of my favorite video game stories I've ever seen. Got super invested, made me tear up several times, like probably like once in every episode, like after episode 3, like 3 through 8, like something got me emotionally. So it's kind of hit me hard in a way where it's like I'm kind of at the point in my life where it's just like, what am I doing? Like what am I working towards here? And that's a lot of what the main character is going through too. Like, am I washed up? Like what the fuck? Like, does my life mean anything? You know? So it hits different people in different ways. And I think that's what makes it a powerful story. And I think it'll come to you in a different way than it did to me, but I think you're really gonna love it. I can't wait to watch you play it. I think watching people stream this game would be a lot of fun.
I love, like, what are you going to pick? Like you said, like, how are you going to do something different than what I did? That was the best part. Yeah. Like the Walking Dead Telltale games, one of my favorite games ever. And I did that with Grayson. Like I played it. I was like, you are playing this game right now, and I'm watching you, and I'm going to see what you did. And like, I took picture of my like percent breakdown to see how it compared. And Yeah, I'm pumped to give this one a shot.
I'm very excited for the new Life is Strange now that they're bringing back the main characters that we know and love. But that last one, like, it's going to be really hard to go back to these other games now that Dispatch has spoiled me with, like, it's kind of like the way I said Avowed did like the quality of life improvement to that genre, like that type of game. This does the same thing in terms of that. It took out the one weak spot of those games for me. So if I had to give this game a ranking, it'd probably be like a 9.5 out of 10 because like I said, the hacking mini game wasn't super great. You don't have to do it like a ton, but you do have to do it like pretty much every episode. You have to do it like a couple times. But the actual dispatching gameplay is a lot of fun. It can be like the most stressful part of the game besides like some of the hard choices, you know, but like you can pause during the hard choices. The gameplay thing, you kind of have to keep it rolling. It's like, that's the part that really like hooks you and can stress you out. But yeah, that's Dispatch.
Hell yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we are down to our games of the year 2025. Ben, what was your game of the year for 2025? Folks, he's so stunned he can't speak.
My game of the year for 2025 was Arc Raiders, and it continues to be kind of my game of the year for 2026 right now.
Yeah.
I don't know. This game hooked me in a way. I guess to start with some history, like I got big into the extraction genre when Call of Duty DMZ came out, which was a extraction mode, offshoot of Call of Duty Warzone. And so back in the day when Warzone was big, you know, they would do all that. And then what was it, Warzone 2.0, Josh? Like when they did like Al Mazrah,
so. I think
they like
so.
brought in, like what was it? It was I guess Modern Warfare 2, right?
That
Like the
sounds right.
new
Yeah.
Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah, the new Modern Warfare 2.
So
Modern Warfare 2,
they
the
did,
squeakquel.
yeah. So they did an extraction shooter version of that, and I had like watched Tarkov from a distance. It didn't seem like anything was interesting to it. One, the devs seemed kind of like bad, stupid people. And two, it just seemed like kind of like you would get kind of rocked. Like it wasn't like, I didn't quite understand what it meant. Cause like I understood like there's an extraction. I understand you like load it in, and I understood like, oh, you can buy insurance on your guns because if you lose them for good. And I think it wasn't until I got kind of deeper into like roguelikes and stuff like that I kind of understood what that meant. You know, what did it mean to lose everything, or what did it mean to not, keep everything and to go into a round and get something and then use it and then probably lose it, right? And that's like, that's your roguelikes in a fashion, but this is multiplayer. So you have in DMZ, it was, PvPvE. The PvE was not very strong. Like the enemies were pretty stupid for the most part. You didn't really get much off of them, but it was a fun take on the Call of Duty experience. And like I found like a creator I really liked and followed throughout. And as I got more and more into that, I tried some other ones out. Never trying Tarkov. I tried Delta Force last year. I think that showed up on my list last year for a little bit. And I tried that. That was a free to play extraction shooter. I got a little bit deeper into like kind of understanding the systems of that and following that and stuff like that. And then like there's this big hype from that creator, Fixate, uh, who like really loves extraction shooters. He played like some of the first ones early on in his career, but then I got into him during DMZ because he would play it every day, and he was like the least problematic like content creator that I could find really that was playing Call of Duty. And so yeah. So I would watch his stuff, and he started talking about Arc Raiders and how much he liked it, and I got into the play test for it early on this year. I think in April or in May. Really loved what I was playing of it. I thought it was really cool. It had this really it just simplified a lot of the stuff that your hardcore extraction shooters really get into, where it's like a lot of times you're like managing inventory, and don't get me wrong, you're managing inventory a lot in Arc Raiders, but it's a simplified inventory. Everything is the same shape, whereas in a lot of inventories, a lot of extraction shooters, you're buying gear to like expand your backpack, and your backpack has like certain shapes, and you're playing Tetris with all the items and guns and stuff. And so it's this very like spatial like upgrade system. And don't get me wrong, that's kind of fun, if you like Resident Evil 4, like, you've done that kind of stuff before. But to simplify it and to bring in a bigger audience, you have what they did in Arc Raiders, which they made everything the same size. And it all comes down to like an encumbrance and weight system. And so that changes a lot. And there's no one of the big things of like your Tarkovs, it wasn't big in DMZ because there was no real economy and there wasn't a huge upgrade system in DMZ. Like a meta progression. There was a little bit of one, but it wasn't a huge one. And there's a big meta progression in Arc Raiders. There's a whole skill tree, you do that. There's a voluntary wipe, which in Tarkov it's like mandatory wipes. And so there's a lot of like just smart things going on in this game that I think if you are new to the genre or scared of the genre, which is totally fine because it's I think it is kind of built up to be a intimidating genre of video game.
Yeah.
I think it's meant to be, and I think people who play it want to seem kind of like people who play any type of genre that's meant to like that's built up as being difficult, They
Right.
want to seem better than anybody else, like even like games. If you play those games and use, everything that's meant to help you there, they're not as hard as a lot of people will make them seem them out to be, right? And that's the same thing in extraction shooters. They are difficult. But if you treat them kind of as multiplayer roguelikes, like, and you take that kind of mentality in where, hey, yeah, I might lose this stuff, but the risk reward there is really strong. So let's get back to like, now that I've kind of explained that, why I like that idea. Arc Raiders is special also because there's a ton of emergent moments in the gameplay. And as I've talked about before, gameplay is my main thing that I worry about in games. I think that's what makes them special. I think that's what can bring out good storytelling. I think you put an environment in players' hands and you design a good environment, you design a good sandbox, and you can get good stuff out of a game. And this game does that really well. They have excellent player tools. You can communicate, which is a huge thing you probably heard people talk about. If you heard them talk anything about the game, it's been about the prox chat, which has been, a huge thing in games in the last few years. And this game does have prox chat, and it's pretty fun for prox chat. And you can talk to players, you can get in their faces, just like you could in DMZ, right? DMZ and for bigger part, Modern Warfare 2 or Warzone 2.0 or whatever it was called at the time, when people were like talk to other players, it was funny and you had emergent moments come out of that. You would have weird things happen in the games. Like you could take people hostage, and you'd be like, well, give me all your stuff and I'll let you live or whatever, And so that happens in this game too, and you can talk to players. And if you're playing solos, you probably run into some friendly people. If you're playing duos or trios, you're going to run into some people that are not so happy with you. So I don't know. It's just filled with fun moments. The enemies are really clever. It's not brain dead like AI opponents like you get in a DMZ or in a like a Tarkov even. Like I've seen, the AI in Tarkov. It's not the brightest. They have boss characters that are just bullet sponges, but like that's not, that's also bad. And so these characters are really interesting. The robots are cool. The little drones that fly around, you shoot out their rotors and they respond like accordingly. You have all these different enemy types that are really just unique. You have the giant robots off in the distance that you can see that you're like, oh man, I wonder if someday we'll have to fight those. And you have just like absolute cinematic moments that come from fighting some of the most big arc the robots in there that you can watch on on YouTube or whatever, where they fight in this, where it's like 20 people that have come together because they're playing solos, so they've all kind of coordinated to fight the biggest enemy in the game, and one of them has a grappling hook and he goes up onto it, he plants this super powerful mine that kills robots like in one hit, but if you have to put it down and it takes a long time to put it down and he's trying not to get bucked off, it's just cool. It's just a cool little game, and I really like it. It's fun.
Yeah.
yeah.
So
It looks awesome.
Yeah, it's so the reason why I ranked it lower. I mean, if we had done this back for DMZ, I feel like I would have ranked it a lot lower than Ben did. Ben's just always been more into extraction shooters than I am. My issues with Arc Raider is like I just don't like the PvP, like fighting real people. I can't like out of every 50 encounters, I have like a couple that actually feel good to me. I think that fighting real people just doesn't feel great in the game. I'm also just like more accustomed to first person shooters than third person shooters. So it does take an adjustment for me. Like switching from COD to Arc Raiders is a huge gap, Um, the prox chat stuff is like a big part of it. It makes it really funny and enjoyable, but right now it is like detracting some of my enjoyment because like people are being mean now. Like when we first started the game, we were running into nice people constantly. It's like, hey man, what are you here to do? Maybe I have like this thing that I can give you and you have something you can give me or whatever. Now it's just shoot first, ask questions later, and nobody's using the prox chat anymore. So I worry about my longevity with the game going forward because of those issues. Like it is really PvP heavy right now because people have finished up like all the stuff that there is to do in the game, and really when you get to that point, you can do a reset. Like they put a way to reset your progress and like work towards all of it again. But all the big
Like a
streamers right
prestige
now
thing.
are very PvP focused, and people are watching that, I think, and being like, well, my favorite streamer killed 10 people in one game, I'm going to go do that. And that wasn't necessarily as prevalent when the game first came out. And so playing from my perspective, this has consumed Ben's life as far as the games that he plays. Like this is what he chooses to play in his spare time. And we've shout out to Chaz and Brandon. I think Chaz listens to these. I don't know if Brandon does, but legitimately some of my most fun multiplayer moments I've ever had in games I've had with you guys playing this. I would never play this game solo by myself. And I really wouldn't want to play it with anybody else. I wouldn't want to just play it with randoms either. But the issue with this type of game for me is I'm not going to make it my entire life. When I play with you guys, I want to have fun experiences. And where it stops being fun is if we get killed a bunch of times in a row and I lose a bunch of stuff, then the next couple games of my limited time with the game are spent trying to re-kit, like re-up and get all my stuff back. And I know that's the gameplay loop. I know this is a me problem, but it's definitely catered towards the hardcore people like the Bens and the streamers who are playing it every day or multiple times a week or whatever. It's not as friendly to casual people like me in that sense. Like I don't want to be spending a couple games in a row only scavenging what I've lost. I want to be at least decently kitted up and going in to fight players, because like the arc are already hard and intimidating as it is, but like it used to be it's just like, oh, we'll avoid going to so and so map because that's the PvP one, that's where people go to fight. Now these last couple times we played, we're getting it like it's being drawn to us on every map we play. And we had a few rough ones last night that like reminded me of like when I was really disliking the game. They're like sort of in the middle of our time with it. So overall,
Yeah.
I think it's definitely a me thing. I don't think there's anything actually
I
wrong
think
with the game, but
yeah. To speak to that a little bit, and I know it's because you don't want to play it solo.
yeah,
I think it does have it's developed this really interesting loop for me where I play it solo to prep for trios and duos.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
solo, a lot of the time, like you'll run into PvP in solos, but like solos is kind of your more friendly area, which is like something you don't really see. Like you didn't see that in DMZ necessarily. You
no,
wouldn't see that in a Tarkov. Like there is like kind of a reason, especially in solos if you're playing against the giant arc, like not the big boys, but like not like your mid tier, but your giant ones, you have to be cooperative. Like you cannot
yeah,
solo those things necessarily, like unless you're like insane. Like you really can't solo them, so you have to be cooperative in solos. And
yeah,
like people are just generally trying to do their own thing in solos, whereas in like duos and trios, like yeah, you're gonna run into people trying to fight a little bit more. And yeah, it's started to, and I think this is a problem with the game being almost too successful. Like they've
yeah.
sold 12 million copies, right? I think this is better than they ever thought it would do. I
Oh
think
yeah,
they knew it was going to be successful. But as far as like content goes, like it's running a little bit low on content to do other than like PvP right now, kind of. Like you're not really getting like upgrades at all. Like the meta progression, people that are playing the game and have been playing it for a long time, their meta progression is almost over. Like they're pretty much done with meta progression. So their main fun now is to go out and kill other players. And I know you don't like it, but I think it has a very interesting combat loop
yeah,
against other players. I think it's very tactical and very interesting. Whereas like DMZ, it was kind of like, well, if you're good at Call of Duty, you're probably going to be good at this game too.
yeah,
But that, I don't want to harp. I don't want to stay on this for too long because I know other people got their number ones. But
yeah.
yeah, that's I'm really enjoying it. I'll
It's yeah,
continue to enjoy it this year. As long as they keep it live and they keep stuff going on in it,
yep.
I don't think I'm gonna have a problem with it.
Yeah, I mean, you know me, if I wasn't loving the game, I would stop playing it altogether. That's how I
Mhm.
operate, and I still play with you guys all the time because I love you guys and playing the game is fun with you guys. Overall, it's just the highs are very high and the lows are especially low for someone like me, and sometimes it's harder than other days to deal with those low lows, and it comes down to every multiplayer game is going to have shitheads that make the game not fun for you, and I wish I could stop like lingering on that part of it, but at the end of the day, I have limited time. I like to play a bunch of different games, and when we have a bunch of games in a row that are ruined by shitheads, it like diminishes the experience for me in a big way. But it's an online multiplayer shooter. It's going to happen to all of them eventually. But there is just a stark contrast of like the early days where it felt like even in duos or trios, we were all collectively in it together. Whereas now we are actively being hunted at all times by other teams, whether we want it or not. Like last night, Ben and I managed to kill this really big, difficult enemy on our own in 2 separate runs twice. And we got killed trying to go after the parts by a team who just sat there and watched us do it. And I get it, like that's part of the game, but like when that's becoming a regular occurrence, like you're just trying to play the game and do things and you've got shitheads just camping waiting to kill people because that's all they have left to do in the game, that's where I start to develop a problem with it, and that's where my fun stops. So I think it's a very cool game. I think it's cheap. It's very cheap. It's very easy to recommend to people. It is a very friendly, it's probably the most friendly extraction shooter I've played, like Ben said, in terms of like of ease of getting into it, like easy to learn, hard to master. It's one of those. So I will continue to play it with the boys, just like Ben said, especially since I'm not playing much COD right now. Like Call of Duty, I think, is in a rough spot. They've lost a ton of players. Battlefield's lost a ton of players. I think that's brought a lot of people to ARC too, honestly. I think that's why it's kind of blown up a little bit. But yeah, I love having a multiplayer game to play with friends, and this scratches that itch. And I mean, you remember Alex during the Swirly Awards, some of my oh shit moments that were honorable mentions were Arc Raiders, so
Oh yeah.
It has its place in my game of the year. It still made my top 5. Like, if there was a couple other games that didn't come out, it probably could have been, 3 or 4 on my list, but 5 was the highest I could put it with how low my lows were with it. So.
Yeah, it feels like having never played it, but it feels like this is just the thing with online multiplayer games now is it's just all those games are like a lot of people's like that's their one game that they play, that it just like naturally over time just raises like the skill floor and like the meta in a way that like it's hard to dabble in games like that without it feeling kind of bad sometimes. I think that's not necessarily an Arc Raiders only problem. I think that's just if a game's got PvP in it in any way, I think, and it's popular, I think that's like always the case.
Yeah, it's hard to be a casual player of multiplayer shooters these days, and it's just the reality of it. Like, there is a world where I could not be into indie games or RPGs or other stuff, but that's just not who I am. Like, I could easily be like, I'm not going to play these indie games anymore and just play my shooters or my sports games or whatever. But like, we're seeing diminishing returns from that, now more than ever. Like this is the least I've liked Call of Duty in a long time. This is the least I've liked some of these sports games in a long time. So I will say that about Ark, at least with all my issues with it, I'm still coming back to it and playing it. And you boys know, if I don't like something, I'm fucking done and I stop playing it. I'm still playing it. The hooks have got me still. So I'll be curious to see what year 2 looks like for Ark for sure. And I'm looking forward to playing more with my buddies. Shout out to Brandon and Chaz, always playing with us. All right.
Oh yeah.
So what is your game of the year, Alex?
My number 1 game of the year was on your list earlier, Ben. So I'm very excited to talk about this with you. My game of the year with a bullet this year was Blueprints. I adored this game in a way that it hit me in an obsessive way that I have never had happen before. I've had pulled up this whole time because I haven't looked at it since I've been playing. My Blueprints Google Doc I had of my notes of this game, which I have never done that for any game ever. Like took notes while playing it to remember things and like think of puzzles and keep tabs on certain things. That Google Doc is 23 pages and has 6,000 words in it. And my phone has a folder of Blueprints images of while I was playing that has 436 pictures in it of my time playing this game. I just can't say enough about this game. The conceit, I'll explain like the basic idea, and I'm curious how far beyond that you went with it, Ben. So the idea is you play as Simon, this like teenage boy whose great uncle passed away, and in his will, he left behind his mansion for you. And to fully complete the inheritance, he gives you the job of, this is a 45-room house. He wants you to find the mysterious 46th room. And the game kind of presents itself as, it's a puzzle game. It's a mystery game. You're trying to figure out exactly how like, where is this 46 room? When you find it, how do you get in, and all the different things leading up to that. I'm assuming with how high it was on your list, Ben, that you did that. Did you do much?
I actually did not do that.
You never got to 46?
No,
Holy
I could
shit.
never get to 46.
Oh my god.
I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed, like, and I know there's a ton more. I've watched my buddy Chaz play some more past it, and I've heard everything. I've like kind of had it spoiled for me. Because you can't really spoil the experience, of trying to get there. I had like, I still love it that much. Like, I still think my experience with it was like a top moment of the year. It just eventually I just fell off of it. And I think it was because I just wasn't making the progress I wanted to make. But everything that I had done up to that point was so fun and so innovative and so interesting that I was like, no, this still ranks really high on my list.
Was some of your problems the like randomness of it? Because that seems to be
Absolutely.
A lot of people's.
Well, okay, so I had two. That was part of it, and then it was also I felt like I was being pulled in almost too many directions. And so I could never really like develop a strategy for a run, right? And there was like one puzzle that I wanted to solve for the longest time, which was the one with like the paintings or the drawings on the wall, right?
Yep.
And so I figured that one out, and it really wasn't as helpful as I really wanted it to be. And by that point, like, I had worked so hard at it, like that was my main goal. After that, I was kind of like, well, this didn't really lead me down another path, like that I didn't kind of already know. Because you kind of can figure that out, like the answer to that puzzle.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know it for like as a total truth, but like for one of the things early on, you kind of get it as a truth for like one of those things. I'm trying not to spoil too much because it's a puzzle game. If you get the answers, kind of defeats the game.
Yeah. Are you talking about the boudoir?
I'm talking about safes. I'm talking about the safes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And so it's just like frustrating on that front, and then it's just like trying to get the items that you need sometimes is a really frustrating part. And then like I said, I would like get these rooms and I'd be like, okay, well, I know how to solve stuff in this room, and that's fun in of itself, but like I don't think it's really taking me anywhere. And so just trying to develop that strategy of what to do next was really tough for me. And I just and then like trying to develop that strategy on top of being like, well, if this is what I want to do next, but then all of a sudden I get all these like dead end rooms because that's how the cards got drawn to me. That sucks. And so so.
I totally empathize with that. And I think weirdly enough, maybe it's just the way my brain just reacted to this game of what you said of like the randomness was sucked, but also too many different directions were happening. That actually was my way of not feeling as bad about the randomness, because if I went into a run being like, okay, I'm going to try to learn more about the safes. Like, I'm going to try to get some rooms I know have safes in it. And I think, not that you did this, but I think some of the people that I heard talk about it on podcasts would be like, this is the only thing I'm doing. It's the only thing I'm going to pay attention to. I'm going to wait until the RNG lets me do that. And I think that's a detriment to themselves for the way the game's designed, in a way of like what you were saying. There are so many threads to follow that like I would kind of just let the game come to me of like, this run's not going to be the one that I beat it on, but it's like, okay, a new room I've never seen just popped up. I'm going to take that no matter what and see what I can find out from that. And luckily it felt like it wasn't until like the very, very end game of like some of the really like some of the late game puzzles do require, like, if I don't see room ABC in this order at this time with these items, I literally can't do it. But I didn't have that hit me till like over 100 hours into the game. And it's just, there's so many levels to it. The puzzle we're talking about with the safes, like there's a phrase you learn through a puzzle that like, it's all just like multiple meanings, multiple ways of looking at it. Like even the name Blueprints is like a prince is in royalty.
Oh yeah.
But the game's art style is like, you're looking at blueprints of a man, or like as an architect and stuff. And it's like, there's so many just like levels and layers to it. And I've never gotten this deep into a game like this before. Like this was came out of nowhere. I just heard people talking about it, and it was just like in the back of my head of like, I have to play this game. And Josh, this is where Sam comes up again. I got my buddy Sam into this game.
Oh yeah.
And my favorite part of this game was like, I was probably like 10 to 15 hours ahead of him. So like if I like finished a major puzzle, he was like just at the beginning of it. And there was a stretch of like every single day for probably close to a month, he would call me that night or after school or something to just talk about this game. And it was just like speaking in tongues, trying to like, he'd ask about this, or like maybe he'd like found a path that I had never even gone down yet, or like he's kind of hinting at a puzzle that I don't even know exists. And he'd just be like, "Oh, interesting. You haven't got this room." Like, "Oh, you should get this room." And you've seen it. You need to think about it in this way. And yeah, the story, to keep it simple, is that's you think the point of the game is to find this room, but it's actually a story of like political intrigue, and like honestly, this year it actually a lot of it hit home of like political rebellion, like fighting against a bad regime, and just like how much of a badass your character's mom is like kind of a mystery of like the whole thing. And it just gets into like so much of the lore and the details of it. And it was wild to play a game where like the payoff of something was just information or just more background info. Like it wasn't always like, there are some permanent upgrades you could get, like some resources to help you fight against the RNG in some way. And that is one thing I'll say, like the farther you get into it, you unlock an ability to change the rarity of rooms you're seeing to where like, oh, this room, I never see it because it's a rare room. I really need it to show up. Well, if you go into this room, you're given 3 floor plans that you can alter how, common, uncommon, rare, very rare. And you can do the flip side of like, oh, this room sucks, or I'm done with this room. I know I don't need anything more. I'm going to make that very rare so I don't see it anymore. And it does become like, by the end of the game, it became a game where I would just like, I got to like 130 days or something in that. I forget how far I got. But there was times where I enjoyed the laying out of the rooms and building a path to 46. And I would just like, you get to a point where you can just kind of do that on repeat if you set it up in a way where like that's the whole point of the game. But there's just so many ways to make it like a fun roguelite on top of these insane puzzles. And yeah, it's a hard game to talk about without spoiling, because that's the whole thing. It's like, it's just like with Outer Wilds, like the game is information, and once you know it,
Right.
you can't unlearn that. Like it'll never be the same again. But yeah, it's definitely a game that's not for everybody, because it is a lot. But it was just the one this year that like my surprise genre I never knew I would be so obsessed about was this game. Like I just could not stop playing it, and like I said, just obsessively taking notes, talking to my friend Sam about it. It was unbelievable. I love that game so much, and it's by far my game of the year.
Heck yeah.
Oh yeah. And then, very on brand and very hilarious way to end this. All of you guys have given these really deep explanations about touching stories, overcoming goals, and everything. Very on brand for a Josh Stevens and Adjective Noun Gaming to end on my game of the year, which is Ball Pit. So
Hell yeah.
I don't have some deep
I get it,
story
though,
or
man.
deep connection to this game. It's kind of like with Starfield and Avowed. It's like I can't sit here and give you some hour-long diatribe about why I enjoyed it as much as I did, and then like I can't defend it if somebody doesn't like it. I can't sit here and argue about it. It just worked for me on almost every single level. I have to shout out Ben for putting it on my radar because he played the demo on Steam before it was even out. It's one of those games where within 30 seconds of the first level, I knew I was going to love it. And I love everything about the way it feels. It might be my favorite game I've ever played on my Steam Deck. That's where I played 100% of it. So basically it's Brick Breaker. Like if you think back to the OG days, you have a paddle on the bottom of the screen, the ball comes down, you're breaking bricks at the top of the screen as they're coming down towards you. And if they reach you, then it's game over. Well, imagine adding a roguelite to that concept. So the bricks aren't bricks, they're enemies. I mean, they're technically bricks still, but they're the enemies. And they have different powers. They can shoot different things at you. The way you counteract that, balls, baby. We're going to talk about some balls and characters.
Big balls, hard balls, fast balls,
slow balls,
hard balls.
Oh, Jinx, you owe me a slow ball. So, basically, like different characters have different types of balls. And so you have like the flame ball guy, the ice ball guy, and all the characters do different things. Like there's a character that is 2 characters put together and they shoot out 2 streams of balls at the same time. and it just everything. Like I said, I can't give you some detailed, lengthy breakdown about why I love this game so much. I just think that it is a cheap game and it is a simple concept executed almost entirely perfectly. It's another like 9.5 out of 10 game for me. Literally my only issue with it is some of the difficulty balancing seemed a little off to me. Like first level is like brain dead easy basically, and second level escalated. Like remember Ben, I was telling you I was having trouble with that second level's boss where they send the like icebergs at you. And then every level after that was fine. I didn't struggle with really much of it at all. Like only died a couple times. Then that second to last level was a real fucker. And I was like thinking like, oh, well, the second last level is this hard. The final level's got to be like impossible. And then you get to it and it's not even as hard as the second to last level. And so that was like the weird issue for me. But everything else about the game, filling out the encyclopedia. I mean, I 100%ed the game on Steam, and the first free update for the game is actually coming out this week. And
those characters sound so good too. Like, I love it
to come back to this game. It is going to be installed on my Steam Deck for as long as I have a Steam Deck, and I will come back to it and gladly play it anytime. So you guys can talk about it, make your peace with it. I can't explain.
I mean, it's my number 2, so
yeah, it's just such a simple game, a very cheap game. It's only $15. It's on Game Pass too. If you're on the fence about it and want to play it at all, it's on Game Pass, but it's worth it to give the devs $15. I can't wait to see what they do in the future. I can't wait to see all the updates they have planned. It means a lot to me when a dev is like, they put out this game that they really believe in. I'm in their Discord server. People love it just as much as the devs love making it and hearing people talk about it. They're putting out all these free updates for the game. They're just going to make it even better and better as time goes on. I'll be there day one on my hands and knees for Ball Pit 2 someday when it comes out. Just inject this shit directly into my veins. It is such a good game. I think everybody should give it a try. And it's so perfect for being a podcast game. We always reference that a lot on here about I could play it on my Steam Deck while I have something on the TV, or I can play it while I listen to something or listen to music or whatever. So you guys go ahead.
And just a heads up, like trendsetter here, Kenny's son, Mr. Sun's Hatbox was my game of the year for I think 2022 or something like that.
Yeah.
This guy is 2 for 2 in making just excellent video games.
Yeah.
It's the same guy as that one?
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
Holy shit, that's crazy. Okay.
Yep.
I did not know that.
So, that game did not hit for me at all, unfortunately. I don't know why exactly. I remember you like raving about it and me trying it, and it did not hit for me whatsoever. So that's like, I was a little hesitant about Ball Pit knowing that he was the one that made this, because I knew that Mr. Sun's Hatbox didn't work for me.
Yeah.
But then as soon as you started talking about it and as soon as it was coming out, I was like, holy shit, like this looks addicting as fuck, and it looks so fun and so simple and easy to get into. And it was so satisfying when you would win one of those really hard runs. It was so much fun figuring out which combos the characters worked together and which ones didn't. I mean, that was I guess like the only other small issue I had is I didn't like some of the characters. I didn't think some of them worked together really well at all. And you found out the hard way by losing a run. I also the antithesis of how I wanted to play that game. I didn't like the character that played the game for you, and I didn't really like the character that did the turn-based either. I didn't like that much at all, because it takes the control out of my hands in a way that I don't like, and it changes the gameplay. Yeah. So literally that and just the weird difficulty spikes, it's the only thing keeping it from being like a 10 out of 10 for me.
Hilariously, first off, this game I played in the hospital. Thank you, Josh. I need to give you your Satisfied grip back.
Oh, for the Switch too,
yeah. This is what I played while Tiff was in labor, and let me tell you, great hospital game. Just sitting there, playing it away. And then after Emmy was born, incredible game to play while holding a baby because you only need the joysticks for the most part. Like, very easy to do with that. And like, funny enough, I would do the 2 you were talking about, the watch them play and the turn base.
Yep.
They were the pairing. I just made them do everything. And I would do that while feeding, like giving Emmy a bottle, and I would just watch it. And weirdly enough, my Switch 2 crashed twice during those specific combination of characters doing runs.
That's crazy.
Like, as the final boss spawned on 2 different levels, I was like, this fucking sucks. I just watched this shit for 10 minutes and then my Switch crashed. So I never ended up, I think I eventually did get, that was my way of like 100%ing the game. Was I think every character has beaten every level. I'd be curious what your guys' favorite combo was. Mine by far, like, it was the only one I did anything in New Game Plus for, because I was like, how far can I push? this combo of characters was the itchy finger and the cohabitants by far.
Yeah,
I love those two
it's
together.
a good combo. Itchy finger was always my go-to because the fire rate is huge in that, and so having the fire rate character like right off the fucking rip is amazing. It was either him and the frost guy together. I found those were really good pairing together, or the guy with the shield, like the bounces the balls back up. It quite literally really cool. Turns it into breakout. But like having that fast fire rate and the thing that like you can get like a fucking 100 balls on the screen at once.
Oh yeah,
with that shit going on. But it's funny you mentioned the technical thing too, because I was gonna say I didn't have a single technical problem the whole time I played it. So that's funny.
I did not outside of those. It was just weird crashes that happen.
And that goes along with my complaints about the characters too. Is like when you're watching those characters play the game for you and they lose a run, it's very frustrating because it's like you can literally just set it down and walk away. You know, and like that's what I did eventually. The last couple levels I had to beat with them. I was like, I'm just gonna make these fuckers play together because I don't like playing as either one of them. They beat the last 3 levels, you know, for me essentially because you have to, you know. But I would set my Steam Deck down. I would like, I think I was playing something else, and I would just set the Steam Deck down, and I would pick it up and look, and it's just like, how did you lose this fucking run? Like this didn't even seem like you were doing that bad. And so then that was like I had to keep doing that. So like that adds to that little bit of frustration. But it's like when I said with Arc Raiders, like the high highs, the low lows, the highs for this are so above and beyond any lows that I could possibly have with it. Yeah, I love this game. Awesome I adored this game. I'm so glad you finally played it.
Updates. Yeah, thank you. This is the one this is my Ghost of Yotei Veilguard.
Yep.
You telling me how good this game was.
Ghost of Veilguard. Yep.
Ghost of Veilguard, yeah. It's fucking great. And like I definitely had the difficulty spike there at the beginning where it was like winning that first run was like so cool. I'm like, I finally fucking got that.
Believe it or not, I won my very first run. My first time playing the game. I don't know how I did it. I won because I remember I messaged Ben about it. I was like, is this game like, I was just thinking to myself, like, is it going to be this easy? Am I really good at it? Or is the game just this easy? Yeah. And then, am I the fucking goat with the sauce, bro? and then the second level just slapped me in the face with its fucking balls right in my mouth. And I was like, man, like this iceberg guy, like, and then I realized like that's when the game starts to click because it's like I got to pick characters now with the speed boost, you know, I got to spec into like that, like the fleet foot thing to like move fast. Like that's the fun of the game is figuring out which characters work, which ones don't, which power ups work together, which ones don't. That's why the encyclopedia is such an addicting thing because I had to look up some of the stuff, but most of it I figured out on my own. And you guys know. For me, I feel stupid a lot of times in my life. That game made me feel smart sometimes figuring out some of those combos and like unlocking some of that stuff. So just can't say enough good things about it. My favorite indie game of last year, my number 1 game of the year with a bullet, came out of nowhere. I didn't think that an indie game was going to be my game of the year because I had all of these like big AAA games that easily could have been in front of it, you know? So
yeah, incredibly addicting, awesome game.
Anything else about balls and pits?
I don't think so. Excited for Monday.
Yeah.
That update.
Oh yeah. I can't wait. I'll be there, baby. And then what's the fucking shooter that's coming out on Monday? The High Guard, is that what it's called?
High Guard.
That also comes out on Monday. The game that they announced at the end of the Game Awards, and the fucking studio has said nothing until like yesterday.
The game they went to the thesaurus for and just looked up Overwatch.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. I'm going to try that game. I don't know if you guys want to play it with me, Ben. I at least want to try it and see what it's like.
It's free.
It's always fun to try a shooter like launch week, you know. So
yeah, man.
Oh yeah.
All right, folks. All right, that's gonna do it. It's so funny. We got to the 1 hour mark and we were like, man, we're moving along at record pace. And now we're at 3 hours and 12 minutes. But thank you so much, you guys, for being here. You guys are my best friends. I love talking about games with you. And thank you, anybody who's listening to this. I know that the crowd that listens to this is very small. It's very hard to proposition a 3-hour podcast these days. But shout out to anybody who's listening to this. Follow us on at Adjective Noun Gaming on Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch. At this point in my life, I'm only streaming once a year for Extra Life, and I might not even do it this year. But follow us on Twitter and Instagram. At least we do post occasionally on there. And like I said earlier, you can check out our lists for Game of the Year, for movies, music, and shows of the year as well. And then shout out to Alex, Swirly Plays, Swirly Streams, Swirly Fucks. Look for him on Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch as well. And then Buddy Ben, thank you as always for being here. Huge part of Adjective Noun Gaming as usual. Played a bunch of fun games in 2025, 2026. Can you imagine if GTA 6 actually comes out this year?
Oh man,
what it's gonna do to the gaming world. We're not
Yeah.
ready for what it's gonna do. But hey, jokes on them. It ain't coming out this year.
that's my money. That shit, I'll believe it when it's
Everybody's
here.
like Rockstar only delays games 3 times, but I think this is gonna be the deal breaker. I think it's gonna be a 4th time. I'll
Yep.
believe GTA 6 is out when I'm physically playing it myself. But I digress. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for listening. Mwah, big kisses. Love you, love you, love you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. Goodbye.
Bye.